Welcome back to No Cap SEC. I'm your host, Jason Watkins, and if you love college football in the SEC, you are definitely in the right place. So before you forget, smash that red subscriber button, like our videos, and don't forget to ring the bell so you don't miss one moment of No Cap SEC. Folks, we have, a special treat for you Sooner fans in the audience tonight. Going to bring in one of our favorites, Jay from the Sooner or Later Show and Unfair Sports. What's up, my man?
What's going on, Jason, man? Glad I could pull up again. Told you, man, we was going to figure this out. We're going to make it work. But I'm glad to be here as usual, hanging out with y'all.
As always, man. We got to do what we got to do. Everybody's been busy, but hey, it is what it is. Welcome in, everybody. Sooner Cowboys, Sooner Legends, Mars Jams, and the Hankster, and
all
Boomer,
the family members are in. Huh?
They're always here, my man. They're always in here. It's good times. Welcome back, everybody, to the show. Hey, we are going to talk a little bit about this. We'll start off talking about this anyway. I wanted to kind of get your opinion on it. It seems like we got a little bit of a power play going on in SEC Big Ten, really kind of making a push for a 14-team playoff. We just got the 12. They're going to 14. I know that I saw something from you last week where you felt like it was a little too much. Talk to me about what you feel about this, because according to what we're seeing, it's either going to be 3 guaranteed, and I've heard 4 guaranteed for both leagues. What do you think about that?
So the latest one I saw circulating is this is being socialized. Now I'm gonna go ahead and use the proper terminology with this so everybody doesn't freak out, because a lot of people are freaking out about it. It's like it's being socialized, but it's gonna something like this is gonna happen. And basically, they're looking at going to a 14-team playoff in 2026. Once 2026 hits, because the 12-teamer was only guaranteed 2026 anyway. They're gonna move to the 14. What bothers me is we ain't even tested out the 12 yet. We already trying to move it to 14. Come on, y'all. Let's pump the brakes and take our time and at least try to enjoy 12. But I digress. They're going into looking at that 14. And initially, I did see that the SEC and Big Ten basically said, if we're going to do this expansion piece, we want 4 guaranteed spots. Now, granted, I would understand that if they started to absorb more teams, because what you could technically do with that, if you give them both 4 spots, they could set that up as they could do 4 pods, and then for their conference, and then the winners of each pod play each other in the first round, and they play each other down as the conference championship type setup, right? That's kind of what I was looking at with that. So your conference champion is the one that makes it out of the playoff, makes it deeper into the playoffs. Yeah. Would make sense, but what they're looking at doing now is a 3-3-2-2-1 format. So SEC, Big Ten get 3 auto bids. Big 12, ACC get 2. And then you get a G5s and then it's like 3 at larges with like the G5s getting like some automatic bids. And so
the G5
I don't like the idea of automatic
12
bids.
spot or whatever it is. Yeah. Or 14 spot.
Right. I don't like the idea of automatic bids in general, right? I mean,
I hate them.
Granted, you make the regular season matter because you have to win your conference. It just sucks that, you got to win your conference, because in a lot of situations, man, that's kind of tough.
Well, it is tough. It is tough. And I think that here's the one thing I would say about this deal. If they do go to a 14, because I'm under the impression that they're going to get 3 each at minimum anyway in this playoff. Just the way it's going to set itself up. The way that the powers that be are, and the conferences are certainly more powerful in the Big Ten and the SEC for sure. I think that, and this is where I kind of wanted to get your opinion on this was, okay, to me, right now, I don't think that the SEC and the Big Ten want to have auto bids or getting a bye in the first round, because as it is right now with the 12 team, you're looking at 4 first round buys. The other 8 teams are going to play in week 1 of the playoff, right? They're going to, you'll have the 5 hosting 12 so on and so forth. I don't think that they want that because they want the SEC and the Big Ten to be able to get the only 2 buys is be what it is. And then, but you would still give 2 spots to the Big 12, 1 to the ACC. Now, this doesn't even include Notre Dame because they don't play in the conference, they're not going to be getting one of the top spots anyway, either way, unless they doing what coach is talking about, and that's them going ahead and moving to the Big Ten.
Like, what's taking so long? You may as well do it, right? Like at this point, the way that the landscape is going, at some point, and there's another report that came out that the presidents and chancellors of the SEC and Big Ten are talking about just breaking off from the NCAA completely.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's about to happen too. Well, and that's listen, I think that there's a lot of different opportunities on that. Hey, Coach, there is a link in there for you if you want to jump in and talk some Notre Dame real quick. Yeah, listen, well, and I think that's a possibility, but we're not even gonna find out what it is. I think that the biggest deal is that it seems to me like they're gonna go ahead and get their 3. I think they're gonna get 7 right now with the 12. The 4, 3, whichever one gets 4, whichever one gets 3 more times than not. I think they're going to guarantee them 3 already. I just think that they want it in writing that that's going to be how it is. Which with the 12, then you're going to piss some people off. If you go to 14, then maybe you don't, right? To me, does the G5 school have to be in this? Does the G5 school have to be in this though?
So I get everybody's initial argument about. I've seen this from a few people of the why with the G5s, why with the G5s. As long as you have 130 college football teams in the FBS, you kind of got to throw them a bone. They're part of everything. They're part of all this. So you kind of got to, mainly because they're the doormat for a lot of these teams anyway. Right? If we're going to use them and beat them up so that we can propel ourselves and get a bye week, you may as well throw them a bone and give them an opportunity. Because, hey, you never know. If they go undefeated, I think everybody deserves the opportunity to be boat raced by a top team if you go undefeated in your conference, because it's not easy. It's not like teams go undefeated every season. They don't. Yeah,
but they're not going to always go undefeated, though, Jay. That's the thing about it. And
that's fair, right? But
and so even in the case of, let's talk about the Big 12. I mean, to me, you look at the Big 12, and the Big 12 really doesn't have a power player. I know Utah wants to act like they're a real player, and we know that they're really not.
They coming after you, dog. You better be careful.
Listen, I don't even hate on Utah. I like Coach Witt. But the truth of it is, these guys, they haven't been to a playoff. They've been close, but they haven't been to one, and they're not a real power player. They're not going to get in the Big Ten. That's what they really think is going to happen. That's never going to happen. But the truth is, you don't really have that one school or 2 schools that are going to carry the conference anymore the way that Texas and OU did. I can foresee a champion with 2 losses and the 3 losses being the other guy. I could foresee that happen in more years than not in the Big 12. So let me ask you this. So if they don't go to 14, and you get the Big 12 champion has 2 losses, maybe even 3, and he's going to get in, and he's going to, so he'll have a freaking bye in the opening round, and you could have an SEC school that didn't even get into the conference championship game that has 2 losses, and they're not going to get a bye, right?
Right.
Then you've got, a G5 school that maybe they're undefeated, maybe they got 1 loss, but who did they play? Whatever, you know what I mean? They're not going to be. Yeah, you can say get boat raced, but you never know.
They probably will get boat raced, but I think they deserve it. It's all because if we're gonna have, like I said, if we're gonna have this many teams, they gotta have a purpose. What up, USCJ? Ain't seen him in a cool minute.
Right.
Talk soon.
He ought to jump in.
You gotta do it. You got if you're gonna have that many teams in college football, you kind of got to give them a bone. Or you just break off. If you break it off into 2 separate leagues, then There you go. That's a good solution.
Well,
too.
they could do a subdivision and nobody has to change conferences even anymore, right? If you want to get into the subdivision thing, they can break it up that way too. I don't think that that's where we're headed yet. But the ACC could be falling apart as a matter of any time now, you know? Now, according to what JJ Kitchen was saying today, it appears that the ACC is going to stand their ground. They're not just going to let them out for a low ball amount or whatever, you know? So we'll see kind of what happens, but, you know, I don't know. Hey, USCJ, if you want to jump in, man, we can shoot you a link into your DMs. If you want to jump in and talk about this a little bit. I hadn't talked to USCJ in a minute either. He's a busy man, though. That's what USCJ, a busy man.
Hey, man.
Out there
content
working.
Don't stop, man. Content don't stop.
It don't stop, ever. Hey, welcome into the show. We appreciate you hopping in, man, either way. Guys, hey, Kim Hurst, Steve B's in the house. Yeah, man, we appreciate everybody jumping in. Listen, Coach ain't gonna be in because he is apparently playing poker. He said, "You
doing
dog.
more important things." It's okay.
Yeah, I guess so. That's I see how it is. We just talk shit about Notre Dame instead.
Yeah, I see.
USCJ, you want to come in and talk shit about Notre Dame?
Exactly.
No, well, so now automatically though, you do have these other conferences. The ACC's got to be shaken, and you know that the Big 12 isn't liking this at all. Even though you had, even though you already had the possibility of getting 2 in, now you're going to guarantee 2, but you're just not guaranteeing where they're at.
Correct.
And
it's going to be conference champion and probably one other, the runner-up.
Yeah, that'd be it. If you got to make the championship game to get in, right? So it'd be more auto bids. Okay, so what it's saying in the Athletic, I'll just read a little bit about it. Among the models discussed is at least one that would include multiple automatic qualifying spots for each Power 4 conference. A person-aware discussions told the Athletic 33221, like you said, would feature 3 automatic spots for the Big 10 and SEC, with those leagues champions earning the two first round buys. According to another source briefed on the model, 2 each for the Big 12 and ACC, and 1 for the group of 5, along with 3 at large spots. Ross Dellinger was the first one to report that, but I don't know. Brett Yormark is saying we're looking at numbers. It was brought up. We'll have to go through the process. So it doesn't sound like he was very amenable to it right away. You know what I mean?
No,
so
it's
it
true.
doesn't.
It's one of those where they have to decide if it's like I say, it's being socialized. So it's just conversation. It's not something that's definitive as far as that format, but it's definitive. We're moving up in how many teams are going to be in the playoffs in 2026. That's
right.
No doubt about it. It's guaranteed we'll have more teams.
Yeah, well, it'd have more teams. And I was thinking last week that there was a possibility that it could be, that they might be doing like a play-in for that, whoever their low seed is against the group of 5 school or whatever. To me, look, I think the group of 5 is better off breaking off and doing their own tournament, and having their own playoff. Honestly, for guys like us, I mean, I watch the Division II and all that stuff all the time. I love that stuff. FCS, I'll watch it.
Football, man, it can be good.
Yeah, and I think that if you want to go to some relegate, how they were talking about UEFA, if you want to do something like that where you relegate them to, another deal, then maybe so. He's saying he can barely hear you. Where are we at?
Am I too low? Do I need to turn it up?
I don't think so.
I'm turned all the way up on my mic, so.
Yeah, you're turned up here too.
Sure
is everybody else having a hard? Can you guys hear him? Go ahead and talk real quick.
Yeah, test. Test. I mean, my mic's good.
I think we got him there. It looks like.
So yeah.
Okay, I'll send you that.
USCJ said send him a link. So
yeah, I'll send it to him right now. I'm gonna put in your DMs, Jay. I can find him. There he is. It's in your Twitter DMs, bro. Twitter DMs. Come on in. You guys have been coming in. Lima Charlie. So is that okay? Is everybody else? Are y'all hearing him good now? He's good here. Kim, I don't know, man. We got it. I've got it turned up on the Rodecaster. It should be clean, and I even turned yours up a little more.
All right. Well, we'll see how it works. So I moved the mic a
All
little
right.
bit closer just in case. But yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
So yeah, Mike. So the Legends. I don't know if I'm gonna make the spring game. I might try to. It just depends on what if I got anything else going on. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
yeah. Hank saying this is the first flex from the SEC and the Big Ten, and now hold on. Look, I see it, and I agree that that's probably what it is, right? That's probably what it is. It's one of those things where you look. These are the two conferences that have been on top, and you got all the blue bloods in these two conferences now at this point, right? You know, the other power players that are left would be Clemson and FSU. FSU's not going to be in there for very much longer in the ACC, right? You know, Clemson probably not either. If FSU leaves, they're probably leaving too. So, you know, it's one of them deals where you're going to end up, this is going to be the way it is, but I still feel like I think if the ACC were to implode, what I see happening is you end up, and I don't even know that it comes completely apart. I think that whoever the Big Ten and SEC end up with, probably 4 schools, then they can backfill the Big 12 with a few of them, but they're probably still going to have enough. Right now, they're going to have, what, 20 of them? Mm-hmm. I'm twice as loud as Jay? No way. I don't even.
Super interesting. I don't know.
All right.
I think we're good. I think we're good.
All right. Anyway, to me, I just feel like this is one of those deals where there's a lot of things that are going to happen, and we've been talking about this a lot. Is get ready because the shit could change overnight. You know, you just don't know what it's going to look like. And one thing we do know is that it's never going to look the same. Never going to look the same as it used to. But nope. It feels to me like right now, it feels to me like the SEC is not in a mood to like really expand right now. And I don't even really think the Big Ten is either, because at one point right now, they still have contracts and it's going to get dilutive. They have to, in order for all this moving around, the networks have to say, yeah, well, we're going to go ahead and pay this amount or whatever, right? And the other schools that are in the leagues now have to agree to give them part of their pay or whatever, right? There's a lot of stuff you still got to work out. So I don't really see that coming apart just yet. I'm thinking the earliest probably 2027 when they can, 26, 27, when they can renegotiate the ACC deal. I mean, what the Big 12 is through like 2030. So,
yeah,
you know,
they're all roughly around that same range. So, yeah.
Yeah, the only one that's early is I think the Big Ten is going to re-up in like 27, and then they're going to go again.
They're 10 years. I think they're 10 years. With
theirs is shorter. They want to do it twice. They want to do it twice for sure.
Let me check their TV contract. It was a 7-year. You're right. So they'll be ready. 29-30 is when theirs. It was a 7-year that started in 2023. But I think they start negotiating right there in the middle, like you said.
Right.
That's going to be fascinating. See, they went 7 years while the SEC went 10, which SEC shot themselves in the foot because they should be making a hell of a lot more money than them. But they're getting $1 billion. Gosh.
Right.
7-year, $8 billion.
I think it's 7. Yeah, 7 billion. 7 billion for the Big Ten. I think it's right around the SEC. It's a little more for the Big Ten. But I think once you work in the money for the CFP payouts and stuff like that in the NCAAs, it's going to be negligible. I mean, you know, maybe 4 or 5 million, something like that. But by the end of the deals and stuff like that. Now, of course, they're going to re-up their deal in the Big Ten earlier. They probably wanted to stagger it, though, you know. Yeah, they would take you tomorrow. True. They would take Notre Dame tomorrow, Coach. They would definitely take you guys tomorrow.
Yeah,
look, and 100%. Notre Dame.
I'm trying to figure out why it ain't happened yet.
that's the big dog that's left. Well, they're getting $60 million though from NBC. They already signed their deal.
Yeah, right. I will say they're basically getting Big Ten money on their own TV network, so it's kind of like it makes sense. And now that NBC has jumped in to get more exposure because they want bigger deals,
right?
They want more college football. Yeah, they're gonna have both.
Well, and with all this streaming stuff, I'm wondering what is this going to do for a lot of it too? Because now you've got the other deal where you've got the streaming. The Fox and ESPN are going together on one, along with Turner Sports or whatever. Let's see, USG.
Yeah, it's not a partnership that is being proposed.
No, it's done. It's going to happen. What's up, Jay?
Man, what's going on, fellas? How's everybody doing, man?
USCJ. What's up?
Man? You doing all right?
Wow.
Man, you guys good?
Always.
Man, holding on. Enjoying this college football change and shake up, baby. That's what we here for.
I think my internet maybe, I don't know if it's me or it seems like it's kind of breaking up. Is that me?
Yeah, you're kind of breaking up for us.
Yeah, we can hear you a little bit. But
man, how you guys doing though, man? I'm supposed to be packing for a trip, man. You know what? I built this house like a couple years ago. And so this is my guest room and I converted it to like a corner part of it to like my office. So I'm in my little room. I got some stuff in here. I'm supposed to be packing bags. My wife don't even. I said, you know what? Let me jump in here with these guys real quick. I hear them. I'll hop on real quick, man.
Hey, well, we're glad to have you on, brother.
It's all right, though. We appreciate you taking choosing death.
Yeah. But hey, man, I'm totally agreeing with you guys, man. Notre Dame, you mentioned something about Notre Dame. They are no better than anybody else. And I just want the world to know that. They need to be forced, their hand needs to be forced into a conference. Their relevancy is no better than anybody else, man. That's my opinion with them. Why do they get the treatment? I guess that's why they got the number five spot if they went out. But this playoff thing, man, they need to go ahead and join the conference, man.
I kind of feel like it's about to happen either way. And from what Coach was saying the other day, I think he's hearing that it is about to happen. To me, if they're okay with not getting an automatic bye, I mean, they could be number one in the country and not get a bye or not get one of them first round deals. Okay, but
Notre Dame is not winning four games in a row, playoff games. It's impossible.
I don't think there's a lot of teams that'll probably do it. Now, I can see certain teams getting hot, but we'll see, man. But I don't know.
It's gonna be hard, man.
I don't think there's anything impossible. Marcus is doing different things at Notre Dame than what you've seen out of them in the past, though. I know SC don't want to hear that, but Coach wants to say relevancy. But hey, the coach that's usually
gonna take some time.
Yeah, it is going to take some time, but we're going to have to see. But I think that this whole deal, this shakeup, it just got harder for everybody to win a national title. I don't care if you get the bye, don't get the bye. You may be able to get into the dance, but now schools that hey, they lost a nail biter to one of the great games in the regular season. Now they're going to still get, both of them probably still get in, and you just don't know, man. There's sometimes I think that's worked out better for your Georgias and Alabamas of the world that they haven't had to play somebody again, or that, they got lucky that they didn't catch some, you know what I mean? There's just better teams that weren't getting in just by this much, like for instance, this year, if Georgia gets in, do you think Michigan wins? Because I don't.
Man, this is breaking up. I'm gonna come back and come right back
That's
in.
I
think it may be my internet or something.
Okay.
I'm gonna come right back in.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. That's an interesting question there, Jason. That if Georgia played Michigan, how would that go?
I mean, they lost one game in the last 3 freaking years, or 2 games in the last 3 years, and they had but in the last team. 2 they've got 1 in 29 games.
Now, I'll say this though: the team that Georgia lost to is the team that Michigan beat.
Mm-hmm.
Right, there's your argument there, right? That's kind of where
I get, but hold on, that as well as I do that shit don't really work. And matchups are different. They turn out different sometimes. Sometimes
matchups makes fights. Yes.
styles make fights, right? You know,
styles makes fights. Yes.
So, Coach getting a little cranky in there. Ooh, Coach, I thought you're playing poker and you're talking shit at the same time. You are the man, Coach.
I'm still trying to figure out though. That's a good question. Like, man, that would be a match. That would be a good matchup because it'd be a big physical game. Now, that Michigan team was. I think that Michigan team still would have pulled out that dub though.
I would. I mean, if I've got Georgia against Michigan, I'm picking Georgia. But
I would not, I could not even argue against you. I would still have picked Michigan because it just felt like, just for some reason, Destiny says that they needed to get this national championship just so we can vacate all their wins and say that the whole season was a waste. That's what it felt like.
Right. Well, and I mean, that's the thing is I get it. And I feel like in the end, but now you can afford to lose one. You know, Coop was saying a couple of weeks back or a couple of months ago when he was like, man, now at this point, it doesn't really matter if you win the SEC title or not. You know, it'll help you if you get to the 14, then okay. And if you're going to get the bye, but I would tell you that if you end up with 4, if you stay at 12 right now, I almost feel like you're better being number 3 than you are being the loser of the SEC championship game. Because you're going to get a bye that way, more or less. Because you know what I mean? You're not going to be playing that week of the SEC title game. So
now,
if they stick with 12,
you say that.
Go ahead.
I got a question though. Now this is going to the 12 and the 14.
Yeah.
The team that got that bye week, them losing out on that revenue on their home field, how's that going to work out? How are you going to distribute them dollars? Because it sounds like the team in the second round, the one that got the bye, is probably going to have to get a higher payout because they're going to miss out on that. Because remember, round 1 is going to be on the home fields, right? So if OU's hosting the game, they get they getting that that revenue at their field. But if Georgia gets that bye week, they ain't hosting no games. They going straight to a bowl site. How's that going to work?
Yeah, but I think the way that they distribute the money, they're going to give more money to the number 1 seeds or whatever. If they're not getting that, because I don't think that you get the gate really at your home field anyways. I think it still gets split with whatever, you may
That's
get more.
What I'm curious about. That's my question. Is how is that going to work at that point?
Well, I mean, we haven't been told all this stuff. Right.
We don't know none of that. None of that's been discussed or, I mean, they're probably hashing that out. They probably figured out a way. I mean, if the SEC and all of them agree to this and this format happening, they've had to have some sort of deal made because, of course, the Big Ten and the SEC are the ones that's carrying, the college game right now. They're bringing in most viewership. They're bringing in all of that. And so now we got to ask ourselves, what's that going to look like?
Yeah.
Right. So
I
don't know.
Well, I would feel like you probably do have, you're going to get a little more. Well, the SEC's schools are going to get their money anyway. But in the end, what I would say, and the Big Ten, my feeling is that if you get that, if you stay at 12 right now, and you probably get less if you're an ACC, you only get 1 maybe. If it works out the way we were talking about, can you imagine if you have two lost teams in the championship game of the Big 12? So then you end up with a two loss champion that gets a bye. That's going to piss a lot. I mean, you're going to tell me that 2-loss champion is going to touch a Big Ten school or an SEC school? Because I don't think so. And then on top of that, like I said, you're better off in the SEC or the Big Ten to not be in the conference championship game and maybe get to possibly to be able to rest some guys if you got nicked up a little bit than if you were to get into the title game, right? Because they're going to get minimum 3. They're going to get minimum 3. Jay, what do you think about that?
Yeah, no.
SEC Jay, can we hear you? You hear us now? You good?
I kind of hear you, man. I think it's something going on. My wife was just telling me, man, it's kind of choppy. I could, like, you guys are coming in and out. It's me. It's not you guys. It's me. I'm lost in the sauce right now. It's crazy.
Lost in the sauce.
Lost in every sauce you can think about.
I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that. That's the word.
Big time, man. Big time, man. But I wanted to come in with you guys, man. You guys know I love both of you guys, man. I tap in with you guys when I'm not on my own program. So I definitely wanted to come do the college football fellowship, man, and as it relates to the playoff talk. But I definitely think this playoff thing, man, is whole. Let me ask you though, do you guys, because I did see where the SEC and the Big Ten was supposed to be doing some type of, I don't know, this is not verbatim or an exact categorize it this way, but it was like a meeting to where these two were trying to, and it was all coming down, stemming from Nico, everything that happened with him at Tennessee. So they were supposed to be kind of come together and try to make a pact, if you will, not an alliance. I think that's kind of how they phrased it. But with that being said, if that's the case, if that happens, do you guys foresee it becoming like just a two, and you guys might already mention this, just a two conference league, the Big Ten and the SEC?
Jay, you want to take that first?
Yeah, so there were reports that they were looking at breaking off into a new league. That has been a conversation, and man, I can see it if they don't find a way to compensate those two conferences more than everybody else. The big thing is about the mighty dollar, right? And there's so much money available. They're like, hey, we deserve the largest piece of the pie because our conferences with all of the big name schools we've got now are the ones running things. Y'all ain't to pay us. I can 100% see them investigating the opportunity to break off from the NCAA and do their own thing. I can see it.
No doubt.
Jason?
Yeah, listen.
Are you on mute?
Yeah, I was on mute. Sorry about that, Boomer. I don't know why it does that, but they're going to do it. They get their money. Make sure you guys hit that like button, and that helps us get paid. that helps us get us taken care of. Hey, so I don't know that right now, Jay, I think if anything, it goes to 3. I think that you might get to 3. I don't think that the Big Ten, I don't think that the SEC, either one has an appetite to have 30 freaking teams. I just don't see it. Right. And, everybody wants Florida State. Everybody wants Notre Dame. That's about it. Clemson. You know what I mean? North Carolina. Those 4 teams, possibly Miami. But really, how much do they really want them? They don't really want them that much. Right. Florida State, they're going to end up somewhere. But the rest of those schools, I mean, first off, if you start talking about Stanford and Cal, nobody gives a shit about football at Stanford and Cal. They don't even watch football there, right? And a lot of
they play football there?
Right, correct. Well, they're in the ACC now, but the schools that are there now, I think that the Big 12 has a lot of, the Big 12 is going to continue to be crazy about their football. They're going to love their football, and that's going to be the way it is, right? In the end, how many of those teams are going to really compete? I don't know, though. But I think that with their basketball, they're probably going to stay intact. I don't see the Big 12 coming apart. I don't see it. I can see the ACC coming apart, but I feel like there's going to be some iteration of an ACC no matter what, because I just don't think that there's enough room at these other 2 big conferences for them to be able to do it, right? I just don't see that there is. I mean, that would be my feeling there. Now, as far as what he was talking about with the Tennessee thing, and we just lost him there for a second, I do think that the ruling with the NCAA at the court on Friday, that's big for this whole deal. It just signaled that the NCAA no longer has any power. None. They cannot stop anything from happening for these kids, period. Nothing.
Yep.
The ACC has strong contract glue. You're not wrong about that, Boomer. But the thing is, that's why I don't think they're going to fall all the way apart. Now they may not be a part of the power structure anymore. And if they lose their big boys, Clemson, FSU, North Carolina, it's over. But they could keep. Now, I wouldn't be that surprised. You know that. Does it make you wonder, though, that little alliance between Notre Dame and the ACC, because Notre Dame's been pissed off at the Big Ten forever, would they maybe jump into the ACC and save it?
I don't understand why they haven't done that, though. That would have made so much sense. That would have gave them games to play against competent competition, all this crazy non-conference stuff that they're doing, and then they could really prove themselves, and people would leave them alone.
Well, but we already said they've already got the money that they need, right? They've already got a contract.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting, like I said, $60 a year from NBC.
So what do they care?
I mean, you can just bring them in just to be able to play.
They bring Stanford and Cal. I mean, they talked the ACC into taking Stanford and Cal. Why?
Mm-hmm. That's the $1 million question. Like, is there money opportunities? They may as well go ahead and just do it.
Huh.
This point.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. In the end,
I guess the fascinating thing behind it is what does Notre Dame want? I mean, I understand the independence piece, that autonomy gives them power, but
yeah,
is it really that big of a deal?
Well, they're quote unquote every year. I mean, they only have a couple that are every year rivals, mainly USC. And then you've got obviously, and USC's there, but they generally play at least a couple or at least one Big Ten school anyway, but they're in the thick of the Big Ten. They've always played Purdue. They've played Cal the last few years and Stanford. They always play Stanford every year. They generally play Stanford and USC, and then they'll throw in another one. But they've been playing Clemson every year for a while, right? So I don't know. To me, well, how long is which contract? Is that?
I think
the
that's my Notre Dame
contract is 20. Oh yeah. I don't know how long it is. That's a good question.
Notre Dame's end in 2029 is when theirs will actually be done.
Okay.
Yeah, they just extended it because it's supposed to end this year, and they just extended it. So
now the ACC contract is until part of it. The grant of rights runs through 2036, but their television deal,
until
ESPN can kill it in 2027 if they wanted to. Yeah, Coach. There's Coach. I don't know, man.
Yep.
I feel like I just don't see those other ones coming apart because I know one thing is the SEC doesn't want to be a coast-to-coast league. They want to stay regional. Now, they could probably do that with grabbing, if they do grab Virginia or they do, I've heard stuff about like West Virginia. Swain was saying Oklahoma State was a somebody that they were talking about. I haven't heard that at all. I don't buy that at all. I think if they wanted Oklahoma State, they'd already be there.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can start the movement for the Texas A&M to the Big Ten.
He's been doing that too. Look, that looks bad on A&M if they run away from Texas like that. That looks bad.
I mean,
because Texas doesn't have the power that it had.
They get tired of being pushed around.
But they're not going to be pushed around.
They are being pushed around. They're already been pushed around.
In what way?
Texas, man. That's what it is.
Look, Texas
they have a
always
little
been
brother
top.
syndrome.
I get that part. Yeah, this is the same as Okie Light weaseling their way out of that, out of the game. So I get it. They don't want. Bob's too said other teams is coaching his coaches and mad hard to win. Yeah, listen, guys, it's good. It's going to be interesting to say the least. I don't know how long you're going to see these leagues stay as they are. I'd like to see a few years where we kind of see how they battle it out with the teams that are there in both leagues and the Big Ten. I mean, I want to see, can Oregon come in and really compete, having to make, because look, they got a nice team. We all love DG in here. I think they got them the right quarterback. To me, I want to see what they can do with having that travel schedule because, brother, that's tough. That is tough.
It is.
And I mean, we're talking about some of those. They love that early game. So West Coast teams are going to be playing at that big noon is 9 a.m.
Yeah, you're gonna be playing some 9 a.m. games. You better prepare yourself. Sleep over there for a week.
That's rough, man. Yeah.
Luckily, they didn't play no real cold weather games until next season. Not this coming season, but the season afterwards. So they'll be fine there. But yeah, that's what's gonna be interesting. What up, Shotty? I'm curious to see. I'm curious to see what it looks like for them in 2020, in 2025. When Dante Moore takes over at quarterback. Yeah.
So you don't see them really making a move this year?
I mean, this year I don't think it'll be a problem for them. I mean, I looked at their schedule. They ain't really traveling this coming season. Like, it ain't bad.
They go to
next
Michigan.
Season is when it's gonna be.
Yeah, we can look at it, but I know that and I know like SC's got a tough schedule. They're for the road. They've got to go on the road at certain times. I don't really think much of UCLA. I think that Washington's going to take a couple of years probably because of the way that it all kind of blew up there. But I do think that, I think that they can compete in the league. I don't think that I think that the travel stuff is going to be hard for them. We're just going to have to wait and see on kind of how that goes. What's up, Shawty? How's everybody? Where is Coach I? Yeah, I've invited all you guys.
That's the question is going to be, what is it going to look like? Like I'm looking at their schedule right now. And so now
Oregon,
the Big Ten has a beautiful graphic with everybody's stuff. And Oregon, I mean, their big road game really is Michigan and Wisconsin.
Yeah.
They travel to UCLA and then Purdue, which is, in Indiana. And that's in October. So the weather's going to be optimal. Their cold weather travels is the beginning of November to Michigan, which ain't bad, and then Wisconsin in the middle of November. SC, theirs is having back-to-back, traveling to Michigan and then Wisconsin coming to town. Luke Fickell don't play. Penn coming to town. The furthest they travel is Maryland. Yeah, their furthest travel is Maryland. They do go cross-country once.
Yep.
That's it'd be interesting to see when that game is going to be.
That's as far as you can go if you're
fair. Besides Rutgers.
Okay.
Rutgers is probably the furthest, but yes, they're about yes, you are 100% spot on. And luckily Rutgers goes to SC for them.
Yeah. Pretty wild, man.
Yeah, so far they don't have them in just awful travel, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what that looks like.
I think, obviously they're not gonna kill him right away, I don't think. And they wanted to bring him in, but here's there's got to be a year that it's gonna end up. Yeah, you got to balance out the schedule. You got to play the same amount of road games as you get home games, pretty much, in the league. So, it's going to move around now with as many teams as they have. I don't know how they're working. They're pretty much going to do the same thing where it's like the 3-6-6 deal, right? That was their thoughts too, I think, but we'll see. I think that it's going to make it harder for those guys. I think that Dan Lanning's a hell of a coach. I think he's done a good job recruiting there. And they've done really well in the portal. Now, no, it's not previously recorded. What are you talking about, man? I've got it on moderate. I've got it on moderate, man. They're gonna put some stuff up there though, man. It's just it is what it is.
It's weird. That's weird. Yeah, but yeah, no. We'll see what it looks like coming into this season. That's gonna be fun.
Yep. So, Shawty, we are talking about. Well, we've been just talking about this playoff deal and how it's going to work out. I feel like they're saying 3 guaranteed spots for the SEC. I still feel like they're going to get 4. I just think that's what they're going for 4. If they're going to go to 14, I think they're going for 4. And Coach said it a minute ago too. If you're going to do that, just go to 16. But then you wouldn't have any buys, and I think that's what they want. They want to get a bye for winning their conference.
Yeah,
because it gives them an opportunity. They do. right? So I think that's why they're not going to a 16. That's not on the table yet. Because they do want to buy. They want to have it be important to win their conference. I do feel like if you go to 16, then you're probably going to see. I still feel like there's a possibility that if you go to 16, you're probably going to end up having to lose a game somewhere. Now, whether it's the conference championship game or they cut back to a 10-game schedule, whatever, you can't be playing till February. They're not going to. I mean, this just doesn't work. And how is it going to work with the portal and all this other stuff when you've got this long playoff? There's a lot of stuff that still has yet to really be worked out. The portal right now doesn't work very well. The way that they are opening. The
biggest problem too. Yeah, the biggest problem with the portal is the way it's set up is that it's not conducive to class schedules, and it has to work with class schedules. So if that's going to be the case, the 30-day window when a coach leaves is where the big problem lies. That's where that issue really, really. Coach decides to leave at any time, just random time, especially because a lot of these coaches that are leaving and going to the NFL, they can't go until Black Monday hits, which is when the season ends, which is after college football has already ended, or you got these playoff teams that decide to make changes. That's where, and most of these playoff teams aren't having job opens until after they finally lose, and then teams can interview their coaches, and then they leave and go. So it is going to be a pain. It's going to be a pain trying to figure that out.
Hope she gets to feeling better, man. T Boomer. Hope she gets to feeling better.
Yeah.
For sure. The portal needs to open after the last game. That's the thing. It's not really something that's going to. They have to do it at the. The problem is you can't keep guys around that are past the semester, right? The semester is what really kind of throws a wrench in all this. That's when it's going to open because guys are going to choose to leave. You've got guys graduating, stuff like that. You really don't have a hold of them anymore after that, right? I mean,
it gets worse too, Jason. You want to hear the worst part about this? Next season, when we go to the 12-gamer, the national championship is the day before classes start for most schools.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be January 20th. So on MLK Day, next January is when the title game is. That next day is when schools typically start. So how is that going to work when it comes to the portal for those teams, right? That's when the last game is technically played. That's where that bad boy is going to be hard. That's why the portal's the toughest because it, like I said, it centers around school schedules. And as you mentioned, these kids are going to transfer. They're going to transfer so that they can be in the spring workout, at least winter workouts, and be able to play spring ball to determine if that's the best place for them or not. Unless they're a grad transfer.
Well, and that's the thing is you work all this. And so here's the thing. The portal opens up. So, and right now that's already look, it hadn't happened yet, but what happens when the portal opens at the same time and you got a playoff team that loses a bunch of players the way Florida State lost everybody before their New Year's Six game?
Now that won't happen in the playoffs era because they'll have an opportunity to play. I'm positive. If you're getting an opportunity to play for a national championship, the kids ain't going to opt out at that point. They're going to play in that game.
I think it depends on the school. I mean, I wouldn't have thought that Florida State would have done that in view of the fact that the freaking
I knew they would.
Bobby Bowden's thing, you know.
Oh, I mean, no, you're not wrong there. I mean, you're spot on, but they weren't playing for a title, so they didn't care. And this is why, and this is kind of why I get why the Florida State kids did it. Jared Verse was a top 10 draft pick last draft. He came back specifically to pay for national championship.
Sure.
They brought in Braden Fisk. They got him in the portal from Wyoming. He could have potentially gone pro, but he wasn't going to go very far. This year now, he's looking like he's going to be a first round the way that he's going in that combine. Jeez Louise, the kid is nasty there. But a lot of those kids returned specifically to play in the playoffs. And they did everything they were supposed to do. They went undefeated and did not make the playoffs. And so all of them after that was like, well, shoot, this whole system's freaking whatever. We're out. I'm gonna go ahead and just prep for the pros.
Well, I'm surprised that hadn't happened more,
honestly,
though. I mean, when you have a 14 playoff and 5 power conferences, you know, you had to see that. I'm surprised it didn't happen more during the 4-team era. Hey, what's
now
up,
it does happen. It does. Now this happens often. Heck, who was it? When we played Florida in one of those bowl games, and just about everybody decided to opt out. Like when we played Florida State at the Cheez-It Bowl, none of their dudes opted out. All of them played. Like they had 0 opt-outs in that game, which is still wild to me because you usually have at least one. Yeah, they had none because all those kids wanted to come back and play for that title game, and then they got to take it away from them. So yeah, no, it's gonna happen as far as bowl games around it, but playoffs, nah, them kids ain't skipping that opportunity to play for a title. Because the only reason why they're sticking around, the only reason why they're playing in December is to play for a ring.
Look,
that's it.
But I don't know, man. I could see it happening, and then you've got an issue. And I feel like if the opportunity's there for that to happen, and you got somebody in some kid's ear that says, "Hey, man, you're already going to be the number 1 pick. What if you go get hurt in this playoff? Or you're already going to be a first rounder." I mean, you get the wrong person in their ear, an agent. Now they got agents. I mean, look, to me, you're right. You brought up the, first day of school or whatever is usually about the middle part of January, right towards the end of January. What happens? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things that are going on, and it puts you in a weird position to where, look, you're going to find out a lot about culture. I'll tell you that much. You're going to find out a lot about culture and what's real. Because if their NIL deal only goes until the end of the semester, then what? This is where I think people are going to start really wanting to see, pay for play, real pay for play, contract pay for play, right?
I mean, I'm
happy with them getting paid, though. Huh?
Oh yeah, Venables even mentioned it on the Oklahoma Breakdown yesterday with Teddy and Gabe. He said that he loves that the kids are getting paid. He also likes contracts. He's like he's saying we're probably gonna end up that direction, and he's all for it. He's all for them being contracted.
I think it's the best way to do it. I was saying this on Tuesday, Jay. To me, the longer they keep it like it is, right, and all this stuff that's going on there, you've been able to. They keep on trying to shut down this and shut down that, and the rules have been. You don't know what they are. That Tennessee was pissed off because you're changing the rules as you go, and it just doesn't work. Well, the longer that they continue to not sign a contract and do what's right by everybody, the more it fosters cheating or the air of cheating. You can actually get a hold on all of this. Kim, look at you coming over to my side. Look at that. We've been fighting over this for months. Kim's been mad at me because I said they needed contracts. Look, that was the one way that you're going to be able to kind of hold on to these guys. In the end, if they want to go, they're going to go anyway. But to me, you have to think about it.
Well, you're not wrong on the contract piece. Let's think about it. And that's the only way you're going to really hold on to players. But the only issue you're going to run into is still going to be buyout clauses in there. Everybody's going to negotiate a buyout. And so if they transfer, buy them out, just like coaches. And I promise you, if a school wants a kid bad enough, they will definitely buy them out.
I think so too. But I also feel like, maybe they're shorter contracts or what. I don't know how they're going to do it. But I know this. They should be sharing some of this big money, the big piece of pie that they're getting. If they're getting freaking 80, 90, $100 million a year, you need to make sure that some of these kids are getting some of that money. Now, in the end, I'm not saying they need to be making 10, 15 million. They don't need to be making the same amount that you make in the NFL. That changes things. But the idea of, I love what the judge said, the idea of amateurism went out the door a long damn time ago. And it's really never been real. It's been an excuse for these guys to not pay these kids. Amateurism is just a freaking word. It's just a word, Jay. to me,
it's BS. It's
you want to
100%
hold
BS.
on to him. You want to hold on to him. Then do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. But go ahead and pay and do a contract. That's the best way to do it. But nobody really wants to see that happen. But then they get really pissed off when Caden Green runs off to Mizzou. You know, it. What a deal!
You're not wrong.
Look, and it's going on everywhere. You know, look at Alabama fans are fit to be tied about what happened. And, you know, that was, man, Saban, it feels like a gaffe on his part to do that to them right then, right? Because they were the only
like he
program open at that moment.
Yeah, I feel like he kind of pulled that because it's right before school, so it kind of makes it hard for people to leave and try to convince kids to stick around. Because, I mean, truly, if you think, because they had to do it at that point to go get Kalen DeBoer. If they wanted DeBoer, they had to go do it at that point. Since he was their number one target, you have to do it then. But the other thing with that, which I think is the most fascinating thing about the entire piece, is Alabama was getting the big Alabama discount from a lot of these kids. That discount's gone now. Them checks going to have to be real. I don't know if Alabama's ready to pay him yet. They're not used to it.
Well, the NIL, just like Georgia, they haven't really wanted to. They're not going to. And I think that Oklahoma's been trying to do the same thing. Right. They're not going to argue and do. They're not going to do the negotiations before you get there, right? They haven't had to do that. But that's what's been pissing. Yep. That's what was pissing Nick Saban off. You know that. Yep. Oh, yeah. I mean, it had him all kinds of upset because now his advantage that he always had is going away because everybody's being able to pay, and he just doesn't have the power anymore. I understand why it bothered Nick Saban. I get that. I think they got a hell of a coach, but the recruiting piece is interesting to me.
I mean, and Saban, I understand the move out because he old.
Yeah, right? Look. I mean, Miss Terry said it was time to bring your ass home.
I mean, you talking about a dude that's 70-something, man. This is not like if this was 60-year-old Nick Saban, wouldn't even think he'd go nowhere. But 70-year-old Saban, yeah, this is too much change. And it's not that he couldn't handle it. He's old. Those 12 and 14-hour days are weighing in on your boy.
Yeah. No doubt.
So yeah. No doubt.
But I also just feel, again, things are changing so much that you can see it coming. And I mean, he's still gonna do his thing on Saturdays. I wouldn't be surprised if they end up with an overall commissioner if it wasn't Nick Saban. You know what I mean? I could see that happening and him trying to impart his will on the game. If it turns, I mean, do you really think he stays gone? I don't know. I feel like it's going to be, I don't know, man. We're going to find out. And I don't think that I'm not predicting the demise of Alabama either, by the way. I think that they still have a hell of a lot of talent there. Kalen DeBoer is one with less talent, and they're still going to be something to reckon with. Now, I think Jalen Milroe, I don't know how well he fits in the offense as we've presently seen it from Kalen DeBoer. I know he's a hell of an athlete, but his accuracy is gonna need a lot of work. So
good thing is Saban's gonna still be active, as Sooner Cowboy mentioned. Saban has an office there. He's not moving from Tuscaloosa. They paid off his house, so his multi-million-dollar house is paid for. Miss Terry and him. Miss Terry's a celebrity there, so is he. You'll see him You'll see him hit the road for like game day and stuff like that. But for the most part, during the week, they're going to be pinging the old man and asking questions.
He's going to be playing golf with Tiger down in Florida out on his boat. That's what I'd be doing.
Nah, he'll be in office every day of the week throughout the season. And he'll be living at the other house in all season.
I wonder how long I wonder how long that'll works for Kalen DeBoer, Coach Saban being up his ass all the time.
I know, right? It's gonna be the weird thing, but at the same time, man, Saban's gonna be up his behind regardless because that big old statue that they're gonna build for Nick Saban, you'll be sitting there looking at it like, dang, Like, it's crazy, and me and Ty talked about this. Alabama got the 2 greatest coaches in college football history.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it was years apart, but the fact that they were able to pull it off twice, and then Saban getting his 6 rings in less games, less seasons, like, storybook, man. Not that. Who else gets that blessed, right? The question is, it's going to happen the third time. It probably won't happen the third time in our lifetime, or even this iteration of college football. But man, it's huge for them. Can't beat that.
I think they're still really good, and I think he's a hell of a coach. I don't know that he's Saban like. Hey, Neilio, thank you so much for the super chat. We really appreciate that. He says, good Thursday evening, fellas. Here's to a great show. I appreciate that. I meant to say that earlier. We kind of got caught in that, but yeah, I agree with a lot of this. What do we got here? You said Stoops still has an office too. Yeah, he does. Yeah, Stoops still has power too. I think we saw that front and center when Lincoln left. Exactly what was going on there, and I think that he picked the coach too. So, which is fine. I mean, I'm still happy with Brent Venables. I think he's doing his thing. Let's talk about this since we're 2 Sooners in here. We don't have anybody else. Thank you anyway for the chat there. Oh, here comes old Sharp. He said, "Roll Tide."
Roll damn Tide.
Roll damn Tide.
Like when he just randomly come in here with the roll damn Tide.
Yeah. Hey, it's funny because I was watching. I was on what's his name show, the big guy down in Alabama yesterday. He was running part of his show. It was a good show, but man, you can talk about a lively comment section in Kyle's show. It was Kyle, what's his name show. It was
because he's already hit 100,000 subs now.
Yeah, dude, he's done a really good job. It's a good channel. Ty's doing a good job too, like always. So
yeah.
But yeah, I chimed in and just said hello to him and kind of watched, but they're pretty lively down there. I think for the most part, they still all believe in him. They still all believe in what's going to happen. We're going to find out though. Well, they were talking some shit about Georgia though, Shawty. They were talking some shit about Georgia.
I would have been a little bit more sold on DeBoer if Ryan Grubb followed him. Because that would have been some continuity that would have been good. But he's
listen, I think I agree with you. I think the Ryan Grubb thing is and not only that, they lost the O-line coach with them. I mean,
yeah, O-line coach ended up leaving too. He didn't. The Joe Moore Award winners didn't follow.
He's
going NFL too.
The hard part. That's the hard part. I don't know about what do you say? I don't give a piss about nothing but the ties. Sharp says, "Time for real."
Yeah,
doesn't have commercials on his live streams is the secret to his success. Hey, you know what, Boomer? I just turned it down to like the low end of it. YouTube does what they want to do, though. This is a monetized channel. They're going to do what they want to do. And if you, there are commercials in everybody's live streams. I didn't do anything with it. If you don't like it, you can run along. I don't know what to tell you. The quarterback spot, that's the question for me. I think that Milroe, as much as I like him, I think he's a stud athlete. I just don't know that he can be that dude to throw 40 times a game and then be real successful like that. And I don't know.
That's fair. I'm wondering how is he going to get used by DeBoer? Will they leverage his legs? Or not? That's what I'm curious about.
Well, you better. I mean, yeah.
I mean, it's what you're supposed to do, but that don't mean that people are smart enough to do it.
Yeah.
And he also is running. I mean, he had Penix, who isn't the most mobile dude, with all the injuries he had to deal with in his career. He's just so accurate. Unless he can just make Jalen Milroe just beyond accurate, then sure. But they probably need to use him to run more, right? You need him scrambling. He's a threat that way. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We hadn't got to talk a whole lot about I mean, we've both done videos about a lot of it, all the Oklahoma disrespect. And I saw Andy Staples was on this morning, had the same kind of video, or last night, I think it was. What do you think people are starting to come around with? And because the idea, the funniest part for me lately has been, it's all this Jackson Arnold stuff that, oh, well, because of Jackson Arnold, all that. And I'm thinking, last year, everybody wanted to say Oklahoma sucked because of Dylan Gabriel. And now the 5-star Elite 11 high school player of the year is going to be the reason why OU only wins 6 or 7 games. Get the fuck out of here. I don't want to hear the shit.
It's like we got to make a decision. Like, which one is it?
Yeah.
Which one is it?
That's what I'm saying. I was like, dude, it's been crazy. But I mean, to me, if this defense is what we think it's going to be, and in year 3, I did the video the other day and went back to his year 3 at Clemson, the major metrics like yards per play and scoring in year 3 at Clemson, and it was pretty much the same in years 2 and 3 at Oklahoma. Before that, they were scoring defense, total defense. They were number 2, number 3 in yards per play in year 3 at Clemson. They were nasty, right? If you are even, to me, if you're in the top 15, Jackson doesn't even have to have a Dylan Gabriel year from last year. He could have Dylan's first year and they're going to be in the playoff. Don't you think?
Yep. See, that's the thing about it is the best part the best thing Oklahoma got out of this is that they lead the SEC and they're number 8 in the country in returning production on the defensive side of the ball. So you're bringing back 74% of your production, right? Tops in the SEC, 8th in the country. I'm sorry, 79% of your production on defense. Bringing back all of that production for a coach that's a defensive coach. It's going to change the game for them because they're not going to have to lean on Jackson Arnold heavily because the offense is going to churn. We've got the talent to make it churn. Scoring machine go Burr. That's what we're going to see no matter what. Yeah. It's all about the defense. What's the defense going to be able to do? And they're bringing back so much experience. The Brent Venables defense is going to look nasty. It's going to look even different than it did last season because they're going to be able to do more because all these dudes know it now.
Yeah, I think that, look, Gentry Williams, if he stays healthy, and it looks like he got that little surgery done to clean everything up, he should be good to go, right? If Peyton Bowen can keep from getting nicked up again, it's a no-fly zone out there. Right. And the expectations for Jacob Lacey, I didn't realize that, and the guys were telling me on the show the other night on Tuesday that they thought what was going to happen with Jacob Lacey. That's sad that he had to go out because of the stuff with his heart. But hey, it's time now for the guys that they've been pulling in recruiting to step up. We hadn't really talked about Ashton Sanders. I know he's come a long way. Nilo, that's pretty awesome.
Ooh.
The business symposium. Ashton Sanders has come a long way. G Baby's come a long way. And Jaden Jackson and Stoney are the truth. I think they're going to be ready. You got a nice rotation there, right? I feel like they do. So, and not to mention DeJoun Terry. Hey, that dude's a big boy.
Oh, he's big.
I'm ready for him too. And so, look, I feel like this is going to be. We've talked about this a lot, and where I've always said, hey, the target year probably for Oklahoma was probably going to be 2025, particularly if you didn't have the experience from DG come back. And I see what you guys are saying. But I would tell you, yeah, it has been too long since Oklahoma's played good defense. Shotty going to come in here and talk some shit. I can already see it. Come on in.
Yep. You know it.
Come on with it. What you got? What up,
Hear him
Shawty?
laughing about it.
Yeah.
Immediately laughing.
What you
Immediately.
laughing about?
Didn't even wait.
You don't even bring the camera on. You gonna talk some shit, laugh and stuff when you come in. What's this about?
Right. Listen.
He's gonna come in capping again.
No, I just appreciate the both of you guys knowing who I am, and I respect that. So shout out to the panel and what you guys have been doing tonight. Great show.
Hey, thank you, bro. What's up with you?
And I ain't gonna say this, but I'm gonna say it on live. I just said I ain't gonna say, but I'm gonna say it on live. Man, you know I don't say something about that hammer. You be acting like you won't be hearing me. You ain't said nothing about it.
About the hammer? What hammer?
You know who I'm talking about?
Talk about UGA? We've been saying that.
He know who I'm talking about.
Who?
Your co-host.
You ain't getting you leave me on there alone. I got another one back there too. You like that one too?
Yeah. So yeah, man. But just on some real stuff, man. You know, I'm just saying, like, I sent the question out there. I didn't want to get on here, but I felt like y'all was avoiding the question. So I had to call in to start some shit.
Okay.
Well, start it up. What you got to say? Come on.
So, where is Oklahoma SEC record? And Jason, you put it out there.
Yeah, I think 6-2, 9-3 is the worst. Or 5-3 is the worst. We've been saying that.
So why is it so bad when we talk about you guys being 8-4? I mean, 9-3.
Bro, because if they win 5, even if they win 5, that's gonna give them 9 wins.
No. I'm just talking about SEC record. But in the SEC, what I'm saying is that would still put you probably like 8th, between 7 and 10 in the SEC.
No, it wouldn't.
If you lose, if you have 8-4 record, if you lose 4 games in the SEC,
bro. Wait, what are you talking about?
No, I'm just.
Who losing 4 games in the SEC?
You just said you could possibly
lose 4. They're not losing 4. They're not losing any more than 3.
No, what I'm saying is you saying
6-2,
right?
I think I said 6-2. Also, I said 5-3, maybe 5-3 if they struggle in some games or had an injury or something. But I'll tell you something. If that defense does what we think it's about to do under Brent Venables, year 3, Brent Venables defense is what they do when he goes places. I don't know that they lose. I don't think they lose 3. I don't. And this D-line is look, they just brought in the best D-line class, and they've been bringing in D-line guys. They're not going nowhere. The questions on defense are going to be in Athens, aren't they?
So let's just look at the numbers then. So you guys, where were you guys ranked last year in defense?
Which metric are we talking about? Total defense, scoring defense, they were top 40.
Total defense, which one would matter the most for you?
Scoring defense matters the most. Is how many points you give up, is it not?
I'm just asking you which one matters the most for you.
41st on scoring defense.
So where were you?
41st on scoring defense.
So you want
better than they were the year before.
So you want to go from 40. So you want to go from 40 something. You saying you're gonna go from 40 something to possibly top 10 is what you're saying?
Top 20 at least.
Top 20?
Yeah.
Okay. I say top 20 easy.
I say top 20. They could get, it just depends on, they've got more guys coming back that contributed.
So you're gonna, I'm just saying, does it matter? Does it even matter that you go into arguably a tougher conference?
My thing is that it's tougher on defense, right? But the offenses, there's a couple of explosive offenses in the SEC. We're not talking about a league that always putting up 50, 60 points a game. Some of them I mean, Georgia can, but do you expect LSU to blow up like they did last year? Probably not. I expect UGA to. I mean, Mizzou, everybody's talking about Mizzou. I don't buy their ass at all. I don't buy them at all. I think that they've won 10 games once in 10 years, and we're supposed to believe that these guys are just going to all of a sudden turn into a powerhouse under Drink. I don't buy it. The best thing about their football team, they have, look, Luther Burden's really good. We know who Theo Weiss is. He's pretty good. Their running back was important to it, but the best part about their team was that they played pretty good defense most of the time. They lost their defensive coordinator and a lot of their players and a lot of their other defensive coaches to LSU. And they're still not even recruiting in the top 20. I don't want to hear shit out of Mizzou anymore.
My question to you guys, I'm not agreeing. I'm just playing devil's advocate. But you say all that, but what I'm saying is, but you still going to a tougher conference.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. But this is a tougher football team than the rest of the football teams in that conference, aside from maybe Georgia.
I'm just saying, it sounds like to me, and that's why I'm here on the show.
Y'all didn't believe me last year when I was telling you that they were going to win 10 games. And
Jason, can I give a disclaimer?
Please do.
To Jason and my partner. Listen, I'm just here because I'm here to talk trash.
I know you are.
I know you were starting.
This ain't no.
I know.
You know I love you.
I finally returned to your brand.
But what I'm getting at is, you speaking out both sides of your mouth just from my opinion, because what I'm saying is, you saying you're gonna get exponentially better on defense.
Yeah.
You're also going to a tougher conference, and you're not even taking that in consideration. So like, you can't have both at the same time. Like, you can't be that much better on defense, but you also went to a tougher conference and you still see yourself that good on defense, even though you're going to a tougher conference.
Mm-hmm. I think that Oklahoma, I mean, you probably get they're going to beat Texas, because I still feel like Texas, I told you why that plenty of times. I don't have to go through that. Texas is replacing all their major players on the offense and defense. Their D-line, everybody talking about Texas like they're nobody. Or like they're what did that one dude on SEC podcast had them going 12-0, beating UGA. Shit. No way.
Yeah, that's what everybody's saying, is they're thinking Texas is.
And I don't get it. I don't get that at all.
In
Oklahoma
Texas
wins 7 out of 10, so that means more times than not.
I'll granted, I'll in the defense of the Texas thought process is they are playing that game the exact same weekend as the F1, the U.S. Grand Prix. So Georgia fans ain't gonna be able to get in town.
Georgia fans.
That's basically what they trying to. That's what they banking on, is that Georgia fans won't make it, because that place is gonna be swarming with too many people.
There is gonna
be
a lot
the dumbest thing in the world, but
Coach, aren't you staying in San Antonio that weekend? Welcome to the show, by the way.
What's going on, fellas? What's going on? Yeah, they had like Georgia fans ain't smart enough not to stay in Austin. What that mean to us?
And I didn't know how
getting into Austin. That's the problem.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. I just said they act like we not smart enough not to try to stay in Austin.
I'm not saying staying in Austin. I mean, I'm talking about getting into Austin. Period.
No.
Driving into that city's hell. Austin has like the worst infrastructure.
I went to the Texas-Alabama game. I know.
No,
Athens is one of the smallest colleges. It's one of the best, but it's one of the smallest college towns. If you see game day on Athens, dog, we can deal with anything. No, our fans come from Atlanta, dog. You ever driven in Atlanta traffic?
I have numerous times.
Traffic? Yeah, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Hey,
I mean, but y'all actually got highways though that like big. Like
right.
Austin just like I also forgot that they got people there.
Man, first time. I don't even know. I'll be honest with you. I couldn't tell you if we played in Austin before or not, but I can tell you right now, there'll be a strong Georgia contention in Austin. I'm not saying we taking over the stadium, nothing like that.
I hope y'all do.
I hope y'all do too.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying that's kind of what we known for. I'm just saying.
Turn that bad boy red. I mean, it's gonna be hot, so you can't wear black. So definitely turn that bad boy out to red.
Yeah.
It's too far south to be wearing black.
And they don't have anything on that stadium to cover nothing up.
Yeah, I know.
I wonder if it will be a daytime game though.
Who knows, though? No, it's probably a night game. They need,
2:30.
hey, man, they
Either 2:30 or a night game.
They don't want to play us in the middle of the day. They want all the advantage they can get.
They better.
What's going on to everybody in the comments, man?
What's up?
Mars.
What's up? Hey,
Mars.
I'll be in here talking shit already, so I figured that's why you were coming in to back him up. What's up,
hey,
with
man?
you?
Well, you know, I can't leave my boy out here. You know, solo dolo. But he can handle it. He can handle his own though. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. What y'all talking about? What y'all talking about, man? I'm just now getting in the house. What y'all talking about?
No. Hey, Shawty, real quick. Were you on the old Freaknik video? Or I know Coach he declared himself safe from being on the Freaknik videos.
Hey, listen, I don't mean to talk about y'all's show, man, because I enjoy what y'all been doing, and I don't want to talk about it too much. But you might see me, folks.
I have been officially marked safe from video exposure. So
officially marked safe, Coach. I said, what about Shawty? He was like, I don't know.
I don't know. I can't speak with Shawty, man. Shawty, you gotta think. So like, Freaknik was going on. We was in high school too, so Shawty lived in Atlanta. So
yeah.
I'm saying I ain't saying nothing. You might see me. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So what else? Okay. What do you got happening in the who do you like in the SEC next year? We've been talking about this anyway, so might as well just bring it on out. Who do you like? I know you like Georgia to win it, of course. Who else you like? Do you really like Ole Miss? Do you really buy Ole Miss, and do you really buy Mizzou? Is what I don't understand how anybody buys Mizzou.
Well, as far as Ole Miss, I had to see their schedule though. Let me put up their schedule. Now I'll tell you if I it depends on who they play on the road. They get us and Alabama at home. Well, I think this will be a year that they could possibly. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but if they can't beat Alabama this year, then they're not gonna beat Alabama. They can't beat Georgia at home, then they're not gonna beat Georgia at home. I know my boy Sharpshooter. I see you in the comment too. I heard that old hot take you had the other day. To my Ole Miss is gonna beat y'all. Going there.
Brisky said drop that link.
Jason, I really think Oklahoma, if y'all would have kept Dylan Gabriel, I think Jackson is the future, but just in terms of timing, if y'all would have kept Dylan Gabriel, I would have had y'all with no less than 2 losses. I think the loss of Dylan Gabriel for this particular year is going to hurt y'all. Y'all should have kept him this year.
I think the upside for Jackson is definitely higher.
Yeah, I get it for the future. I'm just talking about this year.
Why can't he come in and be ready to go when he gets here? When he gets in there, I mean, he sat for his year. It wouldn't be the first time a sophomore quarterback blew up.
He could. I just like a 5th or 6th year Dylan Gabriel better than him for this particular year. I'm just talking about this year. I ain't talking about the future. I'm just talking about this year coming up.
The problem with that is that, I mean, he's not here, so it doesn't really matter. But to me, you don't waste the you don't mess with the possibly losing Dylan to hold on, or I mean, possibly losing your 5-star Elite 11 winner that was Player of the Year, so that you can play a guy that can't throw the ball down the field.
Yeah, that's kind of the big thing is you want to leverage the opportunity for the deep ball, and in the way Latrell's offense is going to be, it's a lot of power run and deep shots. We're going to see a lot of that.
I'm not disagreeing with you, or I'm just saying in particular, That would have been
But
my.
I get you on the experience being something that's like if the Dylan was still on the roster, even starter or not, if he was just on the roster, because our production would have flown up in the numbers wise, we probably would have been sitting at like a 9.5 on the win total, right?
So
that would have been a 2-gamer, or at least one game.
Jackson beat him out if he's on the roster.
No, Jackson's going to be.
I think that was the concern for Dylan. That's why he immediately said, "No, I'm out."
Okay, all right.
I think that he had an opportunity to know he's going to go start, or pretty much know you're going to go start at Oregon.
Now I'm with you. I see the upside. I'm with you. I'm not arguing the upside. I'm with you. I'm with you. I just think
to go out and get experience before you become experienced. So what good would it? If it was next year, he still would have been on the bench for 2 years, and then you still don't know what you got in him, right?
But you know what you got in Dylan Gabriel this year. That's what I'm getting at. You got a 6-year guy.
It wasn't enough to beat Kansas, and it wasn't enough to beat Oklahoma State.
Okay, so that's why I say. So when I talk to you at the end of the season, and you ain't 500 plus yards, number 2 in the country or 3 in the country, I want to see what you're gonna tell me.
Okay, so what are you gonna say? What are you gonna say when they are still top 10, top 15 in the country on offense? If they're in the top 20 on defense, they don't have to be in the top 5 on offense.
Same thing. We're gonna come back to this video, and I'd be like, bro, you was right. Also, we're gonna come back to this same video, and I want you to, same thing.
You say this every time you come in here, and I've been saying the same thing. I agree, and I've said plenty of times that if it was a perfect deal, if it was a perfect world for Oklahoma, they'd have a little more experience coming into the SEC, especially with the schedule. On the other side of it, the guy's a better athlete. The ceiling is way higher. He can hit throws that Dylan. Look, a lot of times Dylan wasn't hitting the intermediate throws even because he couldn't see over the line. Jackson don't have that problem. He's gonna have to keep from turning the ball over. That's what we know. If he can do that, and they can, but you also, Jay, tell him on this part is like Seth Luttrell. He's been a better offensive coordinator. He's got a better track record as an OC than old Jet Sweep Levy. He's got a better track record as an OC. He's done it longer and called plays. I like the fact that
he's called plays a lot longer in comparison, because Levy, there were questions, was he actually calling plays at Ole Miss as well as UCF? Now, granted, his offense is a mixture of Lane Kiffin and Josh Heupel, and he's put up a lot of numbers and stuff over the years, and Baylor, so you got the Art Browse mixture in there, that their Bear Raid mix in there as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, Luttrell's done it for a lot longer. Nick Foles and Gronkowski was in his offense when they were at Arizona, right? And we saw what Gronk was doing. And Nick Foles was doing back then. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what it looks like now. It's going to be more power run. You're going to see more weight room stuff in comparison.
They've got enough running backs that they should be able to run the hell out of the ball. That's for sure. And if they actually,
that's true.
If they actually have a, if they're going to make sure that they run the ball, then that's a good thing too. I look, is it guaranteed that he's going to be perfect? No, but I think that the floor is, I don't see anything more than 3 losses. I just don't. Not if that defense is anywhere close to what we're talking about. Brisky Sharp, what's up, man? You coming in and talk some shit?
Oh yeah, man. First it started off. Y'all hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, man. First, it started off with 2 of my favorite people. And then I got my other boy in here, Coach I.
And Shawty in here too.
And here too. But I time I seen Coach I said, no, I got to say this to his face, because I don't want him to think I was saying behind his back. I said it. Ole Miss is going to upset Georgia Bulldogs. when they come into town.
On top of that, how many losses you got us for next year?
2.
Who the other loss?
You know the other one.
Hey, it's all noted.
I'll put it like this: y'all gonna go on.
Listen. When it come to Alabama, I have no rebuttal.
I never said it was gonna be Alabama. I was about to say
that's what I'm saying. I have no rebuttal because, like, I mean, we talking logic. Then it's logical to think that Georgia's gonna lose to Bama. I mean, we haven't beat y'all in Bama since Nick Saban like first year, and we had Matt Stafford or somebody, and we haven't beat y'all. We haven't beat y'all but like one time in the last 6 tries. So that's logical. But I'm trying to get the logic behind the Ole Miss. Explain that to me.
52-17 last year, bro. Come on. I already told you.
Wait. It's a different team this year. Wait,
like I know why I don't prefer that game, but I want to hear why you don't prefer that game.
Which one?
The Ole Miss game. Like, I know why I don't like that game, but I want to know why you don't like that game.
Because the additions that they added to their team with Trey Amos being one of their cornerbacks that they got from us, with shut down Brock Bowers in the game, which was a bit
60% Brock Bowers, bro. Come on. I mean, I'm not listen, y'all won the game fair and square. Y'all won the game fair and square, but let's not act like Lad McConkey and Brock Bowers was 100%. But I actually said Trey Amos was good. I said that. I like him. I like his game. You know what I'm saying?
He's good. But he's good.
But Trey Amos is a very underrated player. I wish we would have kept him. I wish he would have stayed.
What about on 3rd and Golding, though? He's a very overrated defensive coordinator.
See, that's what I'm not.
But see, that was the only thing that I said that's gonna hold them back. That was the only thing that's gonna hold them back is Pete Golden. Pete Golden will be the one to blow the game for them.
4th and Golden.
Because like I said, we had Brian Branch, we had Will Anderson, we had
see, that's what I'm about to
Kool-Aid,
say too, like
Terrion, all these guys, and he couldn't do nothing with these guys. But time they go to the NFL, now they just being stars. Well, they were stars then, but I don't know, man. I don't know what's wrong with the guy, man.
I think the Ole Miss game gonna be a shootout. And
that was
if you ask me who offense I'm gonna take, I take ours.
I think they got a slightly better offense. Ladd is a bit lost for y'all, and Brock is definitely a bit lost.
Yeah, but outside of Trey Harris, who they bit dogs in that offense?
They lost.
So look, they lost Junkins. Y'all, you say we lost Ladd and Brock. Let's talk about who they lost, and then let's talk about the additions we made. So, like, I mean, like our receiver core go like 6-7 deep, though. Like, what we talking about here? Like Trey Amos could cover one guy, but who else covering? They linebackers ain't that good. They added Walter Nolan, who's going to be a force on the defensive line. They added some guy from Tennessee, again, force on the defensive line. But we also are expected to have
we're getting
one of the
a lot
best.
of feedback from you, bro.
Yeah, we also expect to have one of the best offensive lines in the nation. So, like, we return, I want to say, of the 8-man rotation, we return 5 people on the offensive line. So, like I said, I mean, you take them, I take our offense over Ole Miss. But I think their offense gonna play better than they did in Athens. Like, I don't think that we're gonna hold them to 17 by no stretch of the imagination. They always play better at home. And Jason, to your question earlier about Ole Miss, yeah, I believe in them because they actually, me and Brinsky thought they played Alabama this year. They don't play Alabama this year. So they got us and they got y'all, they got LSU, but they got us and y'all at home and they got LSU on the road, and we don't know what LSU gonna be like. So I can see Ole Miss being 11-1, and
it's playoff a bust for them.
I'm with you on that.
I mean, when we see Lane win a big game, you know, it'll be the first.
That's another thing.
It'll be the first time. So, I mean, I don't know how you just. I myself, I'm not just gonna pick it. I'm just not. I mean,
this is the thing. When you look at his schedule, though, he doesn't technically have to win a big game to be 11-1.
That's true. Well, he does too. Yeah, he's gonna have. He's gonna have to beat Georgia or Oklahoma, or I mean, they've got
10-2. I think Ole Miss at 10-2 or 11-1 is gonna. Like I say, they don't play Bama. They get us at home. They get Oklahoma at home. The only hard game they play on the road is LSU, and Well, we even shoot. Like I know LSU's
That's
got
4 big
athletes.
games, though, is it not?
But it's
Yeah, but they play them at home.
Mhm.
Like if Ole Miss was playing, like if Brisket had said they was gonna beat us and they was playing us in Athens, I would have thought Brisket
no,
was
no,
or
no.
something. But they playing at home. It's different. Again, that's one of the games that I have said that I don't like. I'm not saying we're gonna lose it. I don't like it because they play better at home. I don't think. I'll be honest with you. I don't think y'all can go in there and beat
They got
them. I think
LSU and Baton Rouge, though. They got
That's-
LSU and Baton Rouge.
But that's the thing. It ain't
Big fella in the room.
Jay.
Like-
Jay, my fault, Shawty. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, Bresky.
Let me-
Go
No,
let me
go ahead. Go
let me
ahead.
let Jay's got to get out of here. So let me let him
Man, I want to say this to Jay because I know he's finna run. I don't want Jay to run out of here. I want, yeah, Jay.
go for
I
it.
don't
Go for it. Say what
Run
you
out of here. So what I want to say is to everyone on the panel, specifically Jay. So the elephant in the room to me is like, so we're talking about OU and their particular SEC record. If you guys like the way you guys are talking, you see you guys finishing in the top, like 1 or 2 games, like you're playing for the championship down there, or maybe 1 game away from it. But a lot of people are saying you guys are going to lose maybe 3 or 4 games. So what's the big disparity between you losing 2 or 3 games?
Jay.
Specifically, Jay.
Yeah, go for it.
Before you answer, Jay, what is your prediction record wise for OU next
Y'all
year?
don't like this one.
My prediction is floor is 9-3.
Ooh.
Respect. Hold on. Respectfully, and I'm sorry, Jay, and I know you trying to answer it, and I don't want to cut you off because you want to answer it. But what I'm saying is, we already know that. No, but so when somebody say y'all gonna lose 3 games, 2-3 games, or 4 games, why is there so much disrespect felt from OU fans when we say y'all can lose 4 games? When you yourself think
We're not telling you that you disrespect.
I said the floor was 9-3. I think we finish out with no more than we finished at 10-2 personally.
okay.
That's what I want to know. Where you think y'all?
I think we go 10-2 next season.
Okay.
I don't even know how you
I
say
think it's gonna be a
11-1.
gauntlet for everybody, but and this is the reason why I say that the way that the schedule is lined up,
Yeah.
it's pretty advantageous for Oklahoma in a lot of capacities. Like, for example,
I was about to say,
the first
explain
big
that
game
one.
of the season that we play, I don't think it's Tennessee. I think Tennessee still got a lot of stuff that they got to figure out with their changes. But right after Tennessee, we get a bye week. Then we play Texas. So we get a bye week before the big game against Texas.
No,
down
y'all
there in
play
Dallas.
Auburn, right? Y'all play Auburn right
and then the
right
bye week.
after at Auburn.
Yeah, we play Auburn, then we have a bye week. Yeah.
Right.
Auburn
But-
bye week. I think Hugh Freeze still got work to do. We ain't Alabama. We ain't.
So y'all 5-0. I mean, y'all 5-0 going into the
5-0
Texas game.
walking in, play Texas. And I mean,
So it's not going to be a struggle in Auburn.
I don't think so. I mean, they lost to a four-letter acronym school. So, but hey, you're an Alabama fan, so you have to say that, right? You got to, because weird stuff happened for y'all against them. It's just what it is.
Good point.
That's y'all, right? It ain't everybody else. It's just y'all that weird stuff happens with for the most
your
part.
team's rivals. Those are your team's rivals. That's it.
Right, that's your
Oklahoma
rival.
don't
Like,
care about
I
having to
get
go in there
it.
and deal with them. They don't care about it. Why do they need to care about
Our
it?
rival is Texas, and weird stuff happens at the Red River. So that's us. And now, granted, and Texas is considered the team going 12-0. Everybody keeps pumping them up to go 12-0.
So before we move on to the bye week in the Red River, I mean, I got y'all beating Texas because y'all normally in the recent years have been beating Texas. But
right, even when Texas is good,
before we move on to that, so Tennessee in your mind is a lock.
Yeah, I think we beat Tennessee. We beat them the last 3 times we played them, and I don't think
neither team is the same.
I don't think this team is any better than those Butch than the
I don't know about that.
Hold on. I hate Tennessee, but I'm gonna tell you right now, Heupel's teams are way better than Butch Jones.
Except
team.
for
Butch-
except for
Butch
a couple
that
of
was
weeks
winning
ago,
eight
y'all were
games.
Whatever
telling me
his
how
name
Heupel's
is, he
getting
wasn't
worse.
Yeah,
You were telling me like a couple of weeks ago, Heupel's is getting worse.
no, you're quoting Shawty's words.
You
as-
agreed with me and gave him
No.
the same ranking.
What Shawty said
No,
was listen. What
I-
Shawty said was he went 10 and 2. No, 11-2 the 1 year, and then he went 9-3. So technically, by Shawty's words, he did get worse.
He got worse.
He ain't been getting okay.
Technically,
The quarterback
yes.
was worse,
And
but
I'm
Going from
not
11
saying
to 2
that
and 9 and 4,
Tennessee-
you
this is
that's
what
not
our
a real
point is. This is
regression.
what
though.
our point is.
Worse. What you mean technically? No, he got worse.
the quarterback got worse for sure, no doubt.
The receivers got worse.
Yeah, everything. Yeah, they weren't
So
souped
I'm
up
just
like
saying,
that. But
like, I'm
I
not
agree
saying
with
that
you,
Tennessee's
Coach.
gonna I'm not saying they're gonna come into Norman Beach. I'm just saying, like, when y'all say it's a lot, like that's like y'all playing like Mississippi State.
I
or
didn't
something
say it's a
like
lot. I would tell you that. Here's the thing, though. You could also see what do you think Josh is going to be coming in there like? Josh is coming home to Oklahoma, bringing I mean, it's going to be a big deal for him. But look, he's coached he's coached with everybody there at OU when they know what he does.
They don't know what he does as a head coach, though. Jason, like, just because he did that back in the day when he played, I mean, what are we talking about here? Like, he's not a player and the coach ain't the same thing. Like, what are we talking about?
I mean, so the last 9-4 Tennessee team we played against, we beat them in Knoxville.
Two different teams, two different coaches.
It's fine.
Right.
Tennessee still also has a big refresh on offensive line. They've got a new quarterback, and they've got a lot of defenders that they lost on their defensive line, linebackers, and secondary.
You are right. And you also are replacing on offense the three main components when it comes to calling coverages, protections, and everything. You're replacing your center, you're replacing your quarterback, and you're replacing your OC. So just like Tennessee lost a whole crap ton of stuff, you lost. The difference is Tennessee plays these people all the time. Y'all
let me finish on that too. Seth Luttrell has been on staff the last 2 years.
Okay.
Working with everybody there.
Yep.
So Jackson Arnold knows him well. That's why Jackson Arnold was excited about him being OC, because Luttrell's been working with him this entire time.
In some capacity, he wasn't calling plays the whole time. He
wasn't calling plays. But they're changing the playbook. The playbook's going to be centered around Jackson Arnold.
So basically, and in the first year of learning what Luttrell wants to do, and it's not going to be what Lebby was doing. That's another hurdle that you have to go over. So you threw out a whole bunch of hurdles for Tennessee, and I'm saying you guys have the same hurdle.
So let me finish so I can give you the full explanation, and you can try to pick it apart at that point. How about that? All right. So my point behind that is we're bringing back 79% of our defensive production. Our head coach is a defensive guy. Our defense is going to carry us through those first 5 games. That's my point. We got a defensive-minded coach who's won 2 national championships as a defensive coordinator. When his focus is only defense, he's giving offense to a former head coach and a guy that's been an offensive coordinator a good 10 years in college football and had some top 10 offenses when he got there to change them around. Our focus is going to be that defense. That defense is going to be the focus.
But
because we're going to be bringing back that veteran presence to the defense. Those first 5 games, that's going to be what's going to be the focus. Jackson Arnold's going to have time to build the offense. Because the good thing is this also, all of our wide receivers are returning. They're all the same dudes that's been there for the last couple of years.
Yep.
Jackson Arnold's worked out with all of them all last season. Didn't start, but he's worked out with them.
I'm going to tell you like this. Really, he didn't work out with them because Jackson Arnold didn't take first team reps. That's why
I've been told is that there was a mixture of first team reps between the two.
Bruh,
that's what I've been told by people
during the regular season, though. Like the backup don't take first team reps, bro.
Okay, well that's fine.
But that's
probably what you do at Georgia.
We're
not talking about Georgia.
No. He didn't have that rapport with the starters. And me and Shawty talked about this on one of our shows. Carson Beck didn't have that rapport with the starters because he never threw to the starters. And I said that's why he was having some time. And
starters have been talking about with JA this whole time since every one of them. They all believe in him and they all love him.
I never said they didn't believe in him, dog. You still got to have rapport with your wide receivers, dog. Like as good as Carson Beck was, he didn't have a rapport with the starters at the beginning of the season. He didn't. he had a rapport with the guys he was throwing to every day, which were the guys who were the backup guys. So I'm just saying that.
But you're not addressing what he's talking about with the defense, though. You go right back to Jackson Arnold.
Well, he brought that was the last point he brought up, Jackson Arnold. But the defense, I'm not saying the defense won't be good, but this is the thing. The defense was, I guess, supposedly good last year, but I mean, was the defense good last year?
They fell off a lot.
Advanced metrics, yes.
Huh? By what?
Yeah, by
metrics?
advanced metrics, yes.
Advanced metrics. So
by efficiency. The
They were
defensive
number
efficiency,
41
yes.
in scoring defense.
no, they wasn't. It was 46.
I just had it.
I got it pulled up. I'm looking at it. You were tied with Fresno State at 46.
And then they were in the top 30s in
Y'all gave up an average of 23.46 points a game. Tied with Fresno State at 46.
Okay.
And then y'all wasn't in the top 50 at all in total defense.
No.
The last couple games didn't do that to y'all.
The last 4 or 5 games did that to them because they were giving up 35. They gave up an average of 35.6 in the last 5 games.
I'll take that. Y'all were ranked. Y'all finished ranked 77.
They had a number of injuries.
27. 4 games dropped y'all 27 spots out of the top 50.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this is to Shawty, and Shawty told me this, and I want to get him.
If their average is 23, and they gave up 35.6 for the last 4 games, what do you think that did to their? I mean, where do you think
went
the
from
average
scoring
was before
defense?
that?
Pay attention. We went from scoring defense to total defense. Total defense ain't got nothing to do with scoring defense.
Their scoring defense, their total
just how many
defense,
yards
they weren't
you give
giving
up.
up much. They weren't even giving up much. Everything was between the 20s. There, that was the other thing.
Total defense
They
and
had some
scoring. Y'all was
injuries. They had
46.
some injuries that definitely put them in a bad position.
So
They
the
did.
same. My point is the same thing. Y'all be like almost like y'all tearing these, like saying, "Oh, well, we can beat this team because they don't have X. They didn't do X." Same thing can be said about their defense. Like you're saying, they're gonna go.
What are we going to see out of the Georgia defense? Everybody just assuming they're going to be great. They don't
You know
have
why?
any
You know why?
production
You know
coming
why?
back.
Because Kirby's been there 8 years. 2 years. His first year, we was 16th
man.
in
There's
defense.
still new guys.
Hold on. There was new guys. Listen, when we had the generational defense in 2021, we lost 8 guys off that defense, and the next year we were still top 5.
It's still
Because
not. That was
you know
another
why?
year.
You know
That's
why?
a different year, different
You know
team.
why?
You just said that shit to us too.
You know why? Because you said, why are we assuming? And I'm answering your question why we're assuming. We're assuming it because
I can assume
out of
because
that
Bill
8 years.
Venables' defenses in
But
third in
he's
his
not
year
at Clemson.
3
He's
have
not
been
at
really
Clemson, though.
a lot
He's
better.
not at Clemson, and y'all ain't got the same people that he had at Clemson, dog.
Yes, they do have the same kind of guys that he had at Clemson.
Okay.
Go look at who they recruited. All 3 cycles, not just the last one, all of them. They've got guys. They've got 4.
I didn't say you didn't have guys. I never
in
said.
the
So
last
you'll
2
hear
years.
one thing and then say another. I didn't say you didn't have guys. I said you don't have the type of defenses that he had when they was that kind of defense
Yes,
at Clemson.
he did. He does.
Okay.
He actually does.
He's got 5-star and 4-star defensive backs. He's got good linebackers. He's got the
Even with that,
even with all that, he still was 46 in scoring defense and 77th in total.
in year
defense.
2.
But now next year y'all gonna be top 20 in both.
You're gonna assume everything for Georgia, but you won't take what we're trying to tell you about Oklahoma.
What I'm saying is, I said y'all will get better, Jason, but you're assuming a 50 plus spot leap. I'm not assuming
Scoring
that
defense is what I can tell you.
Okay,
You
well,
know
then
what?
you
Year
still-
3 at Clemson, when he did have this kind of a defense, they were 2nd in scoring, they were 2nd in freaking total, and they were 3rd in freaking yards per play. If they're anywhere, I'm not even saying they're going to be there. If they're in the top 20, which I absolutely believe they'll be there, this offensive stuff we're talking about, they don't even have to be as good as they were last year. They won't.
So where was the Clemson team that you're talking about in year 2? Where was that Clemson team?
It was about the same movement. I'm telling you that year 1, year 2, year 3, this is what you've seen. It not even just at Clemson. It was like that when he went from K-State to OU the first time. Same thing.
So top 20 defense. That's what scoring and so score. Okay, top 20 defense. Okay.
If they do that, then why can't they win 10 games? I mean, you guys want to just assume that they're going to lose to Tennessee, and you're going to tell
I
us
didn't know. See, there again. Stop.
Ain't
nobody said Tennessee was going to beat Oklahoma. Stop doing that. You take words and then do this journalistic thing where you try to make people say something. I never said Tennessee was going to beat Oklahoma.
Journalistic thing. What does that mean?
That's just filling with a whole bunch of
you're
words.
making assumptions. You can make assumptions about Georgia, but you can't make. But
I said that y'all would be better, dog. And then when I was telling you why we would expect Georgia to have a top 10 defense, because it's top 10 every year outside of 2 years. And they was 15th and 16th. So they're not to be a top 10 defense of Georgia is not to assume that they're going to jump 25 spots or jump 50 spots. Like if we got a top 20 defense, we want to know what's wrong. That's what we want to know.
So this is all fun and everything before I have to jump or whatnot. So Brent Venables' second year at Clemson, their scoring defense was ranked 48th.
Okay.
And then the next year it was ranked at 24th, and at defensive efficiency, they were the number one defense in the country.
Okay, so they went from
and that's his third year.
So they went from 48 to 24th. That's what you just said?
Yep.
Okay.
In scoring, that's just scoring defense.
Yeah, that's what Jason said. He was.
In year three, they were second in scoring defense.
I'm going by what I don't know, Jay.
I just had it up. I just did a video on this and looked up all this shit.
So Jay, they had the second in the nation. They was number 2 in scoring defense in the nation in year 3 in 20. What is that? I don't know. I don't.
That'd be 2014. That year was the third year, and he was. They were number 3, 16.7.
So when was they 24? I don't know. You gave me
the second year.
The second year they was 24th in defense, and in the third year they was 3rd.
Yes.
Okay. So it wasn't like 50 to second. That's what I was.
What were they in year 1 though?
48.
So they did about 20 spots. Okay. All right.
But they also weren't left as shitty as Lincoln left them whenever, they weren't that bad.
Dabo Sweeney actually.
Hold on. One of them
Dabo
years
actually knew how to. Dabo actually knew what he was doing.
Can I ask a question?
West Virginia put up 77 on them, like
they lost 13 guys off of their depth chart of a shitty defense, and they lost 13 guys off of that depth chart when Lincoln left. They either went to the league, and they weren't even a good defense at that. So the difference is, they've got 4 guys left, period, from Lincoln Riley. They've made the turnaround. Yeah, I
never said they didn't make a turnaround. Again,
you guys are gonna hold me to all this anyway, and we just like last year. I told you where they were gonna be last year. They were gonna win 10 games. They did. I told you USC would go 8-4. They did. I'm not just sitting here. It's not just a home.
You got stuff like I get it. You did get it right, and I didn't talk against them not winning 10 games last year. I actually picked them to win 10 games. So you're just like you're not proving anything to me. Like I picked y'all to win 10 games last year. You also said some things that didn't happen. You said the Okie Light wasn't going to be a problem, and they beat y'all. You said Kansas wasn't going to be a problem, and they beat y'all. So you get stuff right, you get stuff wrong. What we talking about here?
They definitely lost those games.
And what I was going to say to Shawty's point earlier before you cut me off is you guys went 10-2 and had whatever defense you had. And we all said last year that Georgia and Oklahoma had 2 of the easiest schedules in the nation. You did that against an easy schedule. And now you've admittedly said this schedule is going to be harder, but yet
it's definitely going to
make massive improve. Like you went 10-2 against an easy schedule, but 10-2 against a hard schedule. We're supposed to believe that. That's where we're coming from.
Okay. Yeah, I can tell you why. I just told you they're going to have a top 20 defense. That if they do that, and their offense will be in the top 10. It will be.
I never said it will. I don't know.
Top 20 defense. What does a top 20 defense and a top 10 offense equate to you? What does that? You don't think they're going to be better than Ole Miss and better than the rest of these teams?
I got y'all losing to Ole Miss. So,
okay. Yeah, okay. I don't, but I mean, look, they could lose that. That's one of the games they could lose. It's on the road. I agree. That's one of the games they could lose. I've told you why I think that they're going to beat Texas, because Texas doesn't have everybody coming back like the, you know, all these portal guys are all just supposed to mesh in Ole Miss and at Texas.
Man.
I'm not saying they're gonna mesh, but you have to, just like you told me, you have to give them the same leeway you giving y'all. You're thinking that your additions are gonna mesh. So if that's the case, if Texas guys aren't just gonna mesh, your guys aren't just gonna mesh. New guys, like
which guys? They
like
have
you've been
more guys coming back on the
yeah. But you also in the same breath, you talk about the additions that y'all have. Don't talk about the additions that y'all have. If you don't talk about the additions,
what additions?
Everybody else.
What additions?
They talked about y'all defensive. You earlier this show, you talked about y'all defensive line class.
Yeah, the guys that are going to have to come in and be a part of the rotation.
This is the thing. You can't count them for y'all if you're not going to count new guys for Ole Miss, new guys for Texas, new guys for Missouri, new guys for
We're not
LSU.
having to completely rely on them to be all of it. You've seen that before. You know what happens there when you have young guys or you have some transfer guys, but you have dudes on the front line on the defense that are there and were already there last year. You expect them to come back and do their thing. You expect Danny Stutzman to come back and be good again. You expect Billy Bowman should be an All-American. He led the country in interceptions and pick sixes.
Against bad teams.
You got all these guys coming back, but the guys the new addition guys, you don't expect them to play every snap, but you expect them to make a contribution. That's what makes a good defense. You said it yourself, is depth.
It is depth, but but if you're counting, yes, I said depth, but when I say depth, I'm talking about experience depth. I'm not talking about just like if you're counting on freshmen to come in, then that's not a place you want to be in.
I said depth. The fact is they have more returning production on defense than anybody in the SEC.
And I counted that, Jason. I just said that is a valid point. But then when you get to other teams, what you do is you'll say transfers can't. Oh, we don't know if they're going to.
I didn't say they couldn't. I said we're just.
You said we don't know. We don't know. You said we don't know.
I said
we don't know about your freshmen.
That everybody at Ole Miss is just going to mesh together. We're talking about guys.
No.
They're all starters. Guys that got to come in and if they're going to be great at Ole Miss, they got to step in from the portal and be the man. And same in Texas. They don't get to work their way in. They got to come in and be the man.
I don't think Amos has to go to Ole Miss and be the man. I don't think he has to be. I don't think that's the position that he's in. Whether he goes in there and does it or not, I don't think they're like, our defense isn't going to be good if Amos isn't good. Like, that's not what they're counting on.
Okay. Well, same thing on offense, right? You just said yourself, they don't have their number one running back. I mean, a lot of people like Bentley more, but he didn't start.
Right. But he didn't start. He played, but he didn't start. I was talking about additions to the team, dog. You changed it.
I'm saying additions to the team too. I'm saying a lot of the guys.
Bentley isn't an addition. Bentley isn't an addition, dog. He was in the rotation last year. That's not an addition.
I'm not even just talking about Bentley. I'm talking about some of the. Look at all the portal ads. What did they say? They went all in on the portal, just like Ohio State.
Right,
and we're just assuming that they're going to go and win.
No, I'm not assuming that. I'm not assuming that. That's what I'm saying. I don't assume it for Ole Miss, and I don't assume no additions for y'all are going to be key contributors. I don't assume that any of these guys I think our offense is going to be good because of the people that were there. I hope the additions come in and make it, but I'm going to tell you right now, I don't even know if any of those additions will start because we already had guys. What I'm saying is you made a statement about Texas transfers. We don't know what they're going to do, and that's a true statement. But it's also true in the case for Oklahoma when you tout your defensive line class. We don't know if they're going to even pan out.
I didn't even say the defensive line class. I said they have more coming back than anybody.
True, and then you went into how you're adding the defensive line class. Like, yes, we know about the production. We know about the production.
Tom McCullough, who's coming back again, that didn't start a whole lot. But he was a freshman All-American whenever he was at Indiana. He's going to be better in year 2. Peyton Bowen's going to be better in year 2. PJ Adebawari should be better in year 2. And they're not necessarily starters right off the bat, but they're guaranteed that they're going to – we're not talking about freshmen on making a splash there. Deshaun McCullough was one of the guys that made that 4-down freaking goal line stop during the Red River game. He was in the backfield every play. PJ Adebawari has a year under his belt. He was a top 5 guy from a year ago.
I said y'all would make an improvement, Jason. I never said y'all wasn't gonna make.
I'm just saying,
bro.
If
you hear what you want to hear, though.
I'm not hearing what I want to hear.
Yes, you've been acting like I said y'all wasn't gonna make an improvement. I said y'all were
telling me how I was talking about freshmen, and I wasn't.
You said we got 79% production come back, and you told me
I wasn't talking about Jaden Jackson or Nigel Smith. I was talking about
on the show. And y'all know me and Brinsky on the show, right?
Oh, I'm enjoying this.
They think people disrespecting because we calling out truths, dog. We're not disrespecting. Like, I don't know what
you're talking out of both sides of your mouth.
I'm not talking out of both. I'm talking directly to you out the front of my mouth.
You're talking out of both sides of your mouth.
I said that y'all would make an improvement, and you said that y'all was gonna go from 46 to top 20, and that's a possibility. But when you called out the numbers,
I tried to explain to you why, and you keep telling me why it can't happen. But okay.
I'm just saying it's not as easy as y'all thinking. Y'all talking like it is. Like y'all talk like Tennessee. Y'all was like
he has a track record, just like you were talking about that Kirby has one.
And I said y'all was gonna make an improvement, bro. Like what the again?
You're talking about both sides of your mouth, bro.
No, I'm not, dog. Don't say that. I'm not talking out both sides. I'm talking out the front of my mouth. I'm not talking out both sides of my mouth. Like, dog.
In the air.
The only thing I do know, Georgia is losing to Ole Miss, and that's going to happen.
Hey, with the bullshit, you could have kept that shit to yourself.
Hey,
and coach was not safe. And coach was not safe doing Freaknik. Those are two facts. No, one is an opinion, one is definitely a fact, and the last one is the fact.
I'm safe from video though.
Oh man, they got some never before seen footage. You out there?
Oh my goodness, dog! It's gonna be interesting.
So, I just be honest with you, and this is where I come from. I don't be talking shit. I just be think it's a very valid question.
Hold on. That's a lie right there now.
I don't be talking shit.
That was a lie right there now.
Oh, it is. So when you think about the SEC, and when you're talking about rankings, right? The top SEC schools at 9-3 or 8-4. That's really, you can easily be ranked number probably 8 to 6. That's a big disparity. I'm saying, so one game is it's a big difference. One game.
I don't even know what you're saying. I don't even.
No, what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is like to Stat Guy point, like I have to give Stat Guy some credit. Break it down. He broke it down. At the end of the day, if you win
the same amount of games and lose the same amount of games as freaking South Carolina, don't bring me Stat Guy bullshit in here.
But because they have an easier schedule than y'all, Jason.
And that's what I'm getting at. It just it ain't even it's just about wins and losses.
In order for them to be in there better, you have to assume they're going to lose all those games that are going to be hard games. I understand that this is a tough schedule, but the expectation that they're going to lose all the games that are maybe toss-up games, that's bullshit.
Jason, all I'm saying is it's very realistic that you can lose 4 games in the SEC.
It's not realistic to lose 4 games. It's not realistic.
Let me ask you this.
Defense. He does. It's not.
So it's not realistic to lose at LSU?
It could lose. You could lose that one. Okay, you could, but we don't know.
Okay, that's one. I'm not saying they're gonna lose, Jason. See, that's what you do. You just turned that into me saying that. I didn't say you're gonna lose. I'm asking.
I don't know
you,
for
is
sure.
It realistic? Is it realistic to say you could lose at LSU?
It could be. It could be.
Okay. Is it realistic to say that y'all could lose to Alabama?
We're gonna find out about that too. But yeah, I mean,
I'm not saying you're gonna lose.
Not if they can't put up offense. Not if they can't put up.
I didn't
offense.
ask for reasons why. I'm just asking. Is it realistic to assume that you could lose to Alabama?
It's a home game. I'm going to pick them.
Again, rolling around the question: is it realistic to assume
Yes,
that
it's
y'all
Alabama. It's Alabama.
could? So that's 2 right there. Is it realistic to think that y'all could lose at Ole Miss?
I think it's less realistic, but sure.
So that's
But
3 right off the top.
Is it realistic that they could win those games though too? So they may lose some of them, but they're not going to lose them all.
Okay, they could win a couple. I don't think you're winning all 3 of them, but I'm just saying. So if those are 3 losses, then to what Shawty was saying about the possibility of 4 losses, possibility.
With the question.
Possibility. So if you lost to Ole Miss, Alabama, LSU, which we agree is a realistic
I don't think it's possible that they're going to lose to all 3. You can say one by one, but I'm not going to tell you that they're going to lose all 3 of them games. Because I don't see that happening at all.
So you think y'all go 2-1, 1-2? Let's go off that assumption.
I think they're going to go 2-1. I told you what I think about Ole Miss. You guys know what I think about Ole Miss. I don't think that they win games that matter, and this game is going to matter.
So you think y'all be either Alabama or LSU, one or the 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so it's not real. Okay, so that's 1 loss. So there's no chance Tennessee beats y'all.
I mean, I don't ever say no chance about nothing, but
you said there's no chance y'all lose 4 games.
No chance they lose to Mizzou. I'll give you that one.
And I'm just saying there is a realistic chance. I think I don't think you're gonna lose 4 games in the SEC. That's
you guys can think
that.
That's fine.
Let's preface that. I don't think you're gonna lose 4 SEC games, but it is a realistic chance that you lose 4 games in the SEC.
No, I think it's a realistic chance they lose 3. I think it's a realistic chance they lose 3. I think that's where they are. I don't see them losing 4. I think that they can lose some of those games. They're not going to lose them all.
And they don't have to lose them all to lose 4. That's all I was getting at.
Just saying you can't have it both ways, bro.
Yeah, I'm not saying they lose all those. I'm not saying
I'm not trying to have it both ways. I'm telling you that if they lose to 1 or 2, if they lose to 2 of them, then they're not going to lose to the other 2. I see 4 possible losses in the SEC, and they're not going to lose all of them. They're not.
Of the SEC games, I think the only team that can't beat y'all, I don't see it anyway.
Shit.
It's South Carolina. I don't see it any way possible that they can beat.
But I'm just saying, Coach, like it's like when we say that, it's like we coming out of the left field, like it's just like unfathomable. Like it just can't.
I think there's a chance. I would pick y'all.
I love the way you Georgia fans act like y'all are the only team that's good in the country. It's funny.
But we're not acting like that. We're not acting like that.
Kind of are, man.
No. See, that's what I'm saying. And I try to preference these statements with what I actually think is going to happen. But I'm saying I think there's a realistic possibility.
I have us at 10-3.
I would pick y'all to beat Tennessee. I will pick y'all to beat Tennessee right now, but there's a realistic chance that I think Tennessee could. I think they could beat y'all. That's y'all first SEC game. I think they could beat y'all. And I mean, I know you don't. You know that's what I'm saying. Like
they're not going to lose to Tennessee. They're not going to lose to Tennessee. They're not going to lose their first SEC game at home. They're not.
Okay. And I'm picking y'all to.
You going on the record?
I'm picking y'all to beat Texas.
I've been on the record on that shit.
I'm picking y'all to beat Texas. I'm picking y'all to beat Texas.
Yep.
But I think it's a realistic possibility that Texas could beat y'all.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't pick it, but I think that's a realistic possibility.
Yeah. Okay. That's where, I mean, to me, the Texas one is even crazier to me because they have less guys coming.
We call that a push.
Hey, that's less possibility. The Texas game, I don't give a shit how many freaking Texas fans are in here right now to say, talk all your shit if you want. I'm going to tell you right now, those dudes got out-muscled when they had the big boys, Sweat and freaking all them dudes, and they're gone. So is Bo Davis. And every one of their skill guys is new, except for Quinn, who's fragile. He's never made it through a full season. And he's mentally fragile too. That one.
That's okay.
Fuck Texas.
Again, I
about Texas.
Again, I preface that with I think y'all gonna beat Texas anyway. I've been saying that.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. That
Like,
one's
just like I told Brinsky, I think we're going to beat Ole Miss, but there's a realistic possibility that we lose to Ole Miss at home. That's a realistic possibility.
Oh, it's gonna
Just because I think that we're going to win doesn't mean it's not a realistic possibility, dog. Now I'm using Georgia instead of OU. There's a realistic possibility we lose to Alabama. Do I think we can beat Alabama? Yes, but there's a realistic possibility.
What is it a realistic possibility y'all lose to Ole Miss?
I just said it was.
In Texas? Really? Come on, because I don't see that at all.
Yeah, of course it is. Come on,
well,
Jay.
Their offense plays better. I know we smashed them, but again, they don't play good on the road. That's why when you ask me about Ole Miss,
you have to focus on the question. It's literally a possibility we could lose to Ole Miss.
Shit, man, there's a possibility you could walk outside and get hit by a fucking jet tomorrow.
Why I say that is because their offense plays.
But no, not from a probability standpoint. No, it's not. That's kind of where he's asking. From a probability standpoint, we could lose to those people. Walking outside and getting hit by a fucking jet is not a probability standpoint.
Here it is. They fly around all fucking day. What are you talking about? They fall out of the sky and land right on your ass. What you talking about?
That's what I say. A realistic possibility ain't got nothing with what we think is actually going to happen. Like I say, Brinsky, do you think Georgia has the better team this year going into Alabama? The better team? But didn't we have a better team in the SEC championship?
No.
We had a better offense.
I think that
I give you that. I give you that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, but that's what I'm saying.
Go ahead.
That's what I'm saying. Like, again, like Georgia was playing better. You know what I'm saying? But it's just there was a realistic possibility, and we talked about that we would lose to Alabama, and we lost to Alabama. I'm not saying that's what people should be picking. I'm saying that like these things are realistic. Like that's a realistic thing that can happen, and nobody would be like, "Oh, we shocked that Ole Miss beat Oklahoma." Like we wouldn't be shocked. We wouldn't be shocked if Oklahoma beat Ole Miss. It's again, that's what happens with these pushes.
And I didn't say that they can't lose those games. I'm saying that the ones that if they lose, there's 4 games I could see them losing. 4. They're not losing all 4.
Well, see, and see that's where our number differs. So
and that's the problem. You don't understand that you could lose all 4, Jason.
I'm not saying you're not going to lose all 4. You're not. No, it's not going to happen.
I think there's a realistic possibility that Tennessee could beat y'all, but again, that's not what I'm saying is going to happen. There's a realistic possibility that's Tennessee at Ole Miss, Alabama, LSU, and at Missouri.
So it's like this right here, Coach. To be honest, to your point, Jason,
all that shit's going on. That's what I'm saying. If all these teams are so good, there's a shit ton of 10-2, 9-3 teams in.
And then because there's so many teams and everybody don't play everybody, it could happen that way. I mean, we just had 3. Without adding Texas and OU. We had 3 teams that went 10 wins or better. Or actually 4.
But you're playing more of the teams now than you were in the old system, though.
But
you're gonna play half the programs, and you got to play them every other year. I mean,
yeah. I'm talking about like okay. So when we had 16 teams. We had 4 teams that won 10 games or more. Man, we just added 2 teams, which means we didn't change from 8 games to 9 games. We still only play an 8-game conference schedule. So there's still a good chance, like you said, that there's going to be 4, 5, 6, 10 win teams because of who you play and who you don't play. Like, we play Alabama, but we don't play
I know
LSU.
that for sure. I mean, look, Texas has got a JV schedule. They should win 10.
That's what I'm saying.
They got the training wheel schedule for sure.
And who I'm picking and possibilities are 2 different things. You see what I'm saying? That's 2 different. Who I'm picking and possibility. And I'm talking about realistic possibility. Like, is it like what you was talking about with the Jets? That's like Houston beating Oklahoma.
I'm fucking with you guys.
I know that. I'm just saying. We're saying realistic possibilities, though. Like realistic possibility. I don't think there's a realistic possibility that South Carolina could beat you, whether you was playing them in Columbia or whether you were playing them in Norman. I don't think that's a realistic possibility. But I personally think Tennessee, Missouri, Texas.
That's where I was saying though. I think you guys
Ole
are
Miss,
talking about because when
Alabama,
we
and
did the
LSU.
coach rankings, y'all are all down on Josh Heupel, but now all of a sudden they're real good.
No, they don't have to. I never said they was real good, dog. I just said it's a real. When we talking about Tennessee, when we
But
play
they got to
Tennessee
go to
every
Norman.
year,
They got to go to Norman and deal with that, and it's not an
Right.
easy place to come and play either.
right? And it's not. Again, that's why I said I would be picking Tennessee. I mean, Oklahoma. But again, y'all haven't faced the offense that's the style of offense that Tennessee plays. We play that every year. Like we play it every year.
Hold
We
on,
see
hold
it
on.
every time.
Yes, they have. This defense has seen that offense plenty.
Who y'all played last year that was like Tennessee?
Dude, they're pretty much the same freaking offense that Oklahoma runs. They see that every day.
Yeah. Okay. Y'all, I'm gonna tell you, I watch y'all.
Every
Dog.
day.
Y'all ready? Y'all are not as
Those dudes are all from the same tree, man. All of them. They've all worked together. Every one of these guys we're talking about.
y'all talked about like how
Josh
Levy-
worked with Latrell.
but Latrell wasn't calling play last year, dog. You said y'all saw it last year. Jeff Levy was calling play. Y'all talked about how
Jeff
he
Levy's worked with all those guys too. That's what I'm saying is it's different.
Tennessee don't run a whole
There's
bunch of
differences.
toss sweeps and whatever jet sweeps y'all be talking about that Levy was running. That's what y'all was seeing in practice last year.
The jet sweep, look, man, that's his little wrinkle that he loves to run. I get it. But overall, the offense isn't a ton different even than when it was with Lincoln Riley. There's just not a bunch of differences. There's certain things that they like to do a little more. Seth Latrell likes to run the ball a little more. He likes to bring a tight end in.
Coach, it's very simple. They average over 500 yards in offense in the Big 12 last year. Are you going to average over 500 yards in the SEC? It's very simple. And if you're going to do that, then you're going to be very successful.
I don't think that it's out of the realm of possibility. But
they was top 4 scoring defense. I mean, scoring offense.
Yeah. And they've got, I mean, look, Jackson has to prove that he's better, but he has a higher upside. I mean, I don't have a problem going into it with him. Shit, you got to either way. But he won Elite 11. He was high school player.
That kind of well made with. I don't want to hear all that. Y'all got the average.
It's the truth.
Y'all got the average that. Y'all got to be over 500 yards in offense.
We do. Why do we have to average that? If they're top,
if you want to be successful,
if they're top 20 on defense, they have to average 500 yards a game. Now you're talking out of both sides of your damn mouth.
Let's see.
Hey man, I'm eating green beans and pork chop. Don't let me get on here now, so cause you just said something. I heard something. What you mean I'm talking out both sides of my mouth?
You telling me earlier that they got to be better on defense, and I'm asking, and I've told you they're going to be better on defense, and now you're telling me they got to be top 10 and go over 500 yards to be successful. Which is
no. What I was saying when I was saying about your offense and being over 500 yards, I'm just saying you just left I was saying that to this. You just left the Big 12 averaging 500 yards.
Okay.
You come into the SEC, and if you want to be in the playoff
SEC last year, who was the best offense in the SEC?
I'm saying with Georgia were one of the best, and we were averaging over 500 yards.
You said who was the best offense? I mean, LSU was the best offense in America.
LSU was a difference. Okay,
yeah, I don't know how.
And then, but Georgia was right there, right?
And they were all over 500 yards.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's what I'm saying. So when
you got a quarterback with a better
arm, hold on. So what I'm saying, see, you often distractions. I'm trying to stick to the point. My point is 500 yards.
I'm telling you, about trying to tell you why they can be over 500 yards again.
And I didn't say you couldn't. I was just making a statement. You the one took it as an argumentative point. I was just making a statement. You guys have to be over.
Question. I was trying to explain to you why they can and should. First and foremost, what the defenses they're playing. Tell me which defense on this Oklahoma schedule you're really scared of. Which one? Because Bama lost most of their defense.
I'm not going to answer your question with a question because I never had a chance to make my statement because we'll be chasing each other.
You asked me a question if they could do 500 yards a game. They have a quarterback with a better arm. They got back every receiver except for Drake Stoops. They brought in more really good receivers. They got back their running backs. That look, offensively, they should be fine. They should be. This is Oklahoma. This is what they do is play offense. Shit. I don't worry about Oklahoma quarterbacks. It's QBU. It has been. How many Heisman trophies, Brinsky? Four. Since 2000. 4 Heisman trophies for quarterbacks. So QBU, keep talking. Anyway, if they do what they need to do, I'm saying they can absolutely put up 500 yards a game and put up 40, 50 points. They have to look, as much as everybody loved Texas's offense last year, they weren't as good as OU then. They went over 40 like twice, I think. Oklahoma did it a lot. They're not the thing that you hope from Oklahoma is they don't have that game like you had against freaking Kansas or terrible play calling against Oklahoma State. That's what you're hoping for. It's not that they're not going to go out there and be explosive. I don't care about the end result of how many yards they average. I want to know how many times you go out there and win when you need to, because there are going to be some hard games. But I'm going to tell you, this guy can hit plays that we saw consistently Dylan didn't hit. He didn't have that arm. The speed was there, the shit was wide open, and he didn't get it there. And I'm not even bad-mouthing Dylan Gabriel because I like the guy. And I think he's going to probably be really good at Oregon.
No, that's clearly what you're doing. What you talking about? That's clearly what you just did.
I told you that there were plays that he
literally just did what you say you wasn't doing.
No, the 2 games that they lost, they were not good on offense in those games. The shit. He only threw the ball freaking like, I think, 15, 16 times against Kansas.
Hey, boss man, I'm just saying to the point what you just saying. You literally just discredit this man at the same time. Like you literally just did.
Hey, this dude right here, hold up. Yellow Belly. QBU, the QBU guy, that shit happened before Lincoln showed up too. They were already freaking loading shit up on offense before Lincoln got there. Don't bring that bullshit, Texas. When's the last time you won a damn conference championship before now? Fuck out of here. Bullshit. And we still got your ass. QBU's that coach left, and Oklahoma beat your ass anyway. With the quarterback y'all were saying was the reason why you weren't going to win. Clown. Damn, Texas fans are clowns.
I say put on the horns down. Hey.
It's back here, I think. Maybe. I'll just throw them down.
Yeah.
And here's what I think about their brand.
Finally, a blind squirrel finds a nut. A broken clock is finally right twice a day. Oh, joy it be that the brand has finally returned. Fuck your brand.
Preseason champs, Ohio lock. Oh, Bama gonna hit a little different than Kansas. That's true.
What's that?
Reading preseason champions comment said Bama gonna hit a little different than Kansas and BYU.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt about that.
So buckle up.
I'm buckled up. And look, man, nobody's sitting here thinking that they're gonna go through and go undefeated. I've not said that. I think it's amazing that anybody has said that Texas is gonna go undefeated, and there's been plenty of them. I can't even believe that shit. But hey, it is what it is. And I think it's fine that everybody wants to keep sleeping on Oklahoma. That's cool. Keep sleeping. Because look, it's not that far-fetched to see them going 10-2. It's really not. Their defense has enough coming back, and we have a track record of Brent Venables doing this stuff with these kind of guys on defense in year 3. He's done it twice. And it's kind of the same movement. Look, if they do even top 20, I'm not even saying they're going to be in the top 10. But it wouldn't really be that crazy to be in the top 10. Again, with the offense, they have to play what? Mizzou lost most of their defense. They lost their defensive coordinator, a lot of their assistants. Ole Miss, I mean, 3rd and Golding. Come on, I don't know.
Didn't Missouri promote from within on the defensive staff though?
No, they didn't.
Oh, okay.
They brought in somebody from somewhere else, but I mean, they couldn't completely promote from within because they lost like 3 guys off that staff. So, I mean. Well, I guess they could have completely done it, but they didn't. No, their DC came from somewhere else.
Oh, okay.
We're going to find out if they're going to continue to be that team, but they lost a lot of guys off the defense too. And when the hell is the last time before last year that they won freaking 10 games or more? It was 10 years ago, and this is like kind of what Mizzou does. I'll worry about Mizzou when I see them do it more than that. I mean, that's the one that one in Texas are the ones I truly believe they win. I just believe it. And they match up with Texas so well all the time, except for when they didn't have a quarterback. It was what it was.
History says y'all beat Missouri.
Since World War II, they've won more than 500 against Texas, and since '95, they're like 18-11, something like that. So it is what it is, man.
Appreciate you, Neilio.
Neilio, appreciate you, bro, coming in.
He said Mizzou's new DC is from South Alabama.
There you go. Well, he don't like Mizzou either. He's a K-State guy. Neilio from KC.
Right. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
We have proven. It said Sooner D says, I think Jason makes good points, but I don't think you can be so confident with it unhooked. We have to prove it. Realistic, we can go 75, even though I don't think we will. That statement right there at the end is kind of the same mentality. I'm not saying the same thing. I'm definitely not saying y'all going 75, but that's the mentality. He said that he doesn't think y'all going 75, but that's a realistic possibility is what he's saying. Those are two different things.
I don't know, Sooner D, and I think, but I know that there's people that are feeling that way. I'm just telling you the games that I can see them winning. And I think that a lot of you have to assume that Mizzou, if they're going to beat what I was getting at with Mizzou, if they're going to beat Oklahoma, they're going to have to go out there and put up a shit ton of points. And I just don't see them doing that. Not against this defense being what they are.
Sooner Cowboy says 8-4 or better. Losing 5 out of 8 SEC games would be a huge disappointment.
It would.
Oh, absolutely. That would be yeah, for sure. That means you would be 3-5 in the SEC. That would be
not good.
I ain't gonna say the dudes should get fired. Appreciate you, Mars. But yeah, this is what I'm saying. Like we even like that's what I guess the whole kind of message is like if we say y'all might go 8-4, it sounds like we hating. But even some Sooner fans say that's a possibility.
But not a ton of them. There's always gonna be. But hey, come on, that there's always those people out there that are gonna until you.
Right, but I've been on the show enough to see Sooner Cowboy comments, and I can't take
Sooner Cowboy is always the doom and gloom guy. Always.
Man, that is very realistic. That ain't doom and gloom.
Try to shit.
My bad.
See,
my bad.
Maybe Downer.
What this last year? What did he say at the beginning of the year? Like 8-4. Like before y'all.
Oh, he didn't even have him there. He's been it. He didn't. He's the guy that was like, we're not going to get any of these D linemen. They got 5 of them, 5 blue chippers.
Right.
We're not getting none of them.
So Jason, let me ask you this question. Just real talk. And this, once again, this ain't no hating, no nothing. As great as y'all recruiting class has been, But we had the #1 recruiting class in the nation.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, like, because you guys have had that recruiting class, nobody else has just not done nothing. Everybody else still working too.
Well, first of all, unless we get y'all in the conference title game, we're not seeing y'all this year. And
I think
on
it's
the
fun,
D
like,
line,
some of the people-
on the
people
D
are-
line this year, I don't think that you did as good as Oklahoma did.
I think he's saying the point is people on your schedule are recruiting just like you're recruiting really well, but so are the people on your schedule.
That's what I'm saying. It's never personal. I am not talking about on a personal level. As a,
Right.
All
We're
I'm
saying that
saying is
Oklahoma was recruiting.
If
Oklahoma
you're
has
believing in
recruited
coaches,
good.
though, why would you not believe in what Brent Venables is doing defensively? And if we know that the offense isn't going to change a whole lot, it's not. You're acting like it's so far fetched that they would win 10 instead of going 7-5, and I don't buy that, Shawty. I'm not going to buy that.
I think we believe more that y'all can go. There's a possibility that y'all can go 10-2 than you believe there's a possibility you can go 8-4. Like I think we think there's a possibility that you could go 10-2. We do, right? Brinsky, you think that, right? That's a possibility, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like if we say there's also a possibility that you go 8-4, then some Oklahoma fans lose their mind. I'm like, both are a possibility. That's what we're trying to say, dog. Like,
okay. I'm telling you, when I look at it, I'm saying I don't have a hard time.
Hey, we not hating.
I'm telling you that I'm looking at this freaking schedule right here, and I can't see any defense. What defense am I really supposed to be worried about here? LSU maybe, but LSU was one of the worst defenses in the country last year.
Yeah, they did, but they recruited talent and they changed some stuff.
I know they did, and they got more talent. Hey, look, they're one of those schools that's got as much talent as anybody. That's why I say, and they're playing them in Baton Rouge. I get it,
right?
But I'm saying, if Oklahoma's defense is anywhere near what we're talking about, top 20, maybe top 10, there's no freaking way they lose 4. No way.
I mean, Texas A&M was top 20 and they lost 4.
Okay, because they have a shitty offense, and we just
okay. Mars, I don't think anything would happen to your coaches if you went 8-4. I don't think that's a big deal. I don't think that's first year
it would be warmed up. It would. Not necessarily to the point that he's fired next year, but it will definitely speed up the timeline on his ass. He better do something in 25 if he goes 8-4. I'm telling you, man. It is what it is. I'm not telling you he's going to get fired. They would have to completely come apart. He's recruiting too well to get fired. For 8-4 your first year. No.
I think first year again, this is just me. I'm not saying the pundits, like nobody's saying that. Replacing all 3 levels of protection calling and all that, and the new, like I say, a new quarterback going into the SEC. I think 8-4. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but I'm saying if it happened, I don't even think that's hot seat thing to me. I mean, it's
well, it would depend. I think that there's enough. Look, you know how it is with boosters and all that stuff. There was a. I'm not going to get into all that. I can tell you that there would be a contingent of people that are close to the program that would be upset. Now, he wouldn't lose his job. If they were to go 5-7, he could go.
Well, that's different. And I don't think nobody's talking about it.
But but if you're going to lose 5 SEC games, I mean, we're talking getting close now.
You still would be 7, and that's not going to happen. You still would be 7-5.
Again, the only thing I was trying to say was if you look at Oklahoma's schedule, I'm just looking at the defenses on there. Ole Miss, they haven't been great on defense. They did get some guys. We'll see, though. 3rd and Golding, we're going to see.
They're going to see,
And then, I mean, I don't buy Mizzou. Texas lost a lot off of a defense that wasn't, I mean, they were good, but they weren't.
Excuse me. Mm-hmm.
But they lost pretty much, I mean, the heart and soul. Both of their defensive tackle guys that were, and not to mention one of the best linebackers in the country. The secondary that wasn't that good is completely being replenished. I like Colin Simmons, but he's a freshman. You know, I like Colin Simmons. I think he's going to be a stud, but he's a freshman. The portal guys, they could be good, but are they going to hold Oklahoma when they didn't last year with all the guys that they had? Probably not. Can Oklahoma shut them down? Maybe. And I mean, Texas is a different deal either way. But
yeah, I was about to say
South Carolina, no. Auburn, I mean, they don't have a very good quarterback to begin with. And then if the defense is good, I expect them to win.
Jason, the problem is your maybe be like,
you want me to finish?
Mm-hmm.
It's like you don't think about maybe for everybody else. It just be like when it comes to Oklahoma, it be a for sure. It's not a maybe, and that will we be with a difference in.
The ones that I think may be a loss.
All right, Kim.
Maybe they will. Not all of them. They're gonna win some of these games because they're as good as they are on offense, and because they're gonna be better on defense. Otherwise, we may be talking about a freaking getting fired Brent Venables. If they don't make a freaking step forward defensively and make them, because if their offense is going to be what it was, or even close to it,
bro, y'all can be top 30, and that's a huge. If y'all top 30 defense, that's a huge
jump. Yeah,
and it wouldn't win, but it would. So a top 30 defense would.
A top 30 defense with a top 30 offense. A top 30 defense and a top 30 offense will get you 8-4, 9-3.
And I ain't necessarily mad about the offense, but the top 30.
I don't think y'all offense falling that far. I'm just saying.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
I don't think that either. I think they might be. I don't know if they're going to be top 4 in scoring offense. I don't know if they're going to be top 3 or 4, but I think they're top 10. I think they stay top 10, and I think they could be better. Look, the ceiling is higher. The ceiling is now higher. Now, I just don't see on this schedule where Oklahoma has to play the best defenses. I think that Alabama, you caught them at a good time. No more Caleb Downs. You know?
Don't sleep. Now we got guys.
Risky. I guess I don't know if I ever heard what you got.
All these cats are gone, bro. Come on.
What you got Oklahoma going next year?
I'm not saying you definitely win that game either, Brinsky. I'm telling you, this is the best time you could possibly get.
You're right. Now that part here.
Depleted defense and a quarterback that is gonna be in a spread it out and throw it offense when he doesn't throw it that good.
So
go ahead.
What you got OU going next year? 10-2.
Say 9-3.
Okay. What was that? What's your floor? What's your floor on it though? Like 8-4? Or is
I think that Auburn game you keep sleeping on, so I'll say 7-5.
Man, fuck them.
He's saying Brinsky's saying 9-3, but floor is 7-5.
Okay.
No, that's what if we talking about the best.
Like the best case, worst case, I guess is what. Jason
7-5 as worst case.
Sooner Cowboys, that's not even right. He is accurate. He was late on a couple of balls, and that's why he got it picked. It wasn't accuracy, bro. You don't even Sooner Cowboys. Y'all got to get him started, don't you?
Hey man, I'm just reading comments.
Oh, dude, kills me. I can't do this. See, look, Sooner Cowboys says. OU goes 3-5, and that gets you out of here today. You got to go in timeout sooner. Bye. No, I haven't. I timed him out. I do it to him all the time. He pisses me off, man.
All right, Sooner Lemon says 10-2 as the ceiling, 9-3. So basically either 9-3 or 10-2. Okay.
So, yeah, kind of see Bam and DeBoer. Man, I don't think that they're gonna go in there with just Jalen Milroe. I agree. And look, I think that Kalen DeBoer has won with less talent. So all I'm saying about that game is it's good news that Oklahoma gets them at home. No Nick Saban, and a lot of the defense is depleted. Hey, there you got a shot. You got a good shot. Your best shot you're probably gonna have. Year 2, maybe not. You know, if it was a year from now. But look, and I said this at the start of the show. I'm not going to be that dude that's going to sleep on Alabama. It's freaking Alabama.
I think we all agree Sooner Lemon. Sooner Lemon say y'all start 4-0. I don't think nobody's
start 5. I don't think they start 5-0 for sure.
That.
Well, actually 6 because
the first 5.
The first 4 games is like Houston.
The first 3, it's
Temple, Houston, Tulane. Those 3,
and then Tennessee, Auburn.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, y'all going 4-1,
and then they're going 6-0 because then they're going to beat Texas. They got to bye before the Red River. So
I got y'all at 5-1 through the first.
Losing
6.
to Tennessee
or Auburn.
Okay, yeah.
I think Auburn is that one for y'all.
I think Tennessee.
You're hoping that's the case because you guys are always losing to them guys or struggling with them cats.
Hey man, it's some about that.
That's what that is.
It's something about
how haunted that joint is. I don't want to hear that shit.
I'm telling you, man.
So what about Sooner D? Is he a Debbie Downer? Because he said if y'all not playing consistent football, which happened some last year, he said 75, possibly, but he says basically ceiling 10-2, floor 75. Okay. You saying there's no possibility for the 75 is what you saying, though.
I don't see the possibility of 75. I could see, I mean, worst case scenario, I think it would go to 8-4. And I think that's worst case scenario.
And like, I think that's not a hot
injuries and like a bunch of freaking injuries or something like that happens. And it could happen. But
yeah, I don't know.
If they are doing their thing, yeah. What? If the war has Bama rolling off fence.
Purple says 75, the seat gonna be smoking.
Yeah, it would be. He ain't wrong. I'm telling you.
Brian says 11-1 ceiling, 8-4 floor.
Who is that one loss go to though?
Ooh.
That's what I would.
Good question, Brian. Who would the one loss be to if they're 11-1? You say I will kick your ass out of here if you say Texas or Mizzou. Just kidding, man. Just kidding.
No, he's not playing.
He said LSU.
LSU. Yeah. See, look, hey, I haven't said that they're beating LSU yet. I'm saying I could see it.
And
but we don't know anything about it. I mean, because we don't know about LSU. There's the question marks are there. The talent is definitely there, but
it's just
that
too much
defense
loss.
was trash last year.
It was too much loss.
Their defense was.
They lost I don't trust Brian Kelly, and I wish these experts would stop putting Brian Kelly as the number 2 coach in the SEC. He's overrated. He's trash. I can't stand him. F him. I just had to get that out. Every time I see that, bro, I literally want to choke whoever made the list.
Even Penn State cleared out Jordan Hare by halftime. Yeah, see?
True.
I mean, I understand that they're the old rivals for you guys. Iron Bowl and oldest rival in the South, right? Oldest rivalry in the South.
When was this?
That's what they call
rivalry
it.
games are
rivalry 2 years ago. 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I can't even remember that.
They came to Auburn first, and then Auburn
busted that ass too. Yeah, they did.
Man, it's something about you being in the conference, man. It's something about you being in the conference. We ain't talking about no out of state conference. Every game that y'all talk about that somebody blew them out is literally was an out of conference game.
New Mexico State beat them
out of conference.
I can't take them serious when New Mexico State beat them.
Look what Georgia did when they came in there. It's something about that stadium.
Are they not going to start the same quarterback or a freshman? That's what they're talking about. I mean, things could change before the fall, but
they are in Hugh Freeze to year 2, so you got to expect some.
I think they'll be better. Right? Listen, look, there was another one that I've told you guys that I think that there's a possibility there, but I ain't buying it though. That one should be a win. It's not a good loss if you lose that game. Period. Right? Is it? You're going to tell me that's an okay loss? You would excuse that loss? Because I don't think so.
To who? Auburn?
Yeah.
No, that's a bad loss.
Okay.
Depending on how the team go. Depending on how the team go.
Like I don't know.
They did well in recruiting. I think they're doing well in the portal.
If they have a mid
right now with their quarterback room and everything, I don't see it, man.
If they have a mid-year,
that's a good point, Purple. He said, reason Auburn is dangerous because it's at the beginning when they still have hope.
That's possible. Yeah, they hadn't got their teeth kicked in.
Right.
Yeah, because they play Alabama, A&M, Cal, New Mexico.
Still hope.
Arkansas,
they might fool around. They might be fooling around.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Jay, if y'all start off slow in that game, you're gonna find out real quickly how crazy that stadium is. That's all it takes. You got to start fast. Because if you start off slow, them boys just have hope. I don't know, Millie. Like everybody turn into 5 stars all of a sudden. The ball everybody just seemed to drop easy catches.
Yeah, I'm just messing. I didn't call you a Debbie Downer. No, that's Sooner Cowboy right above you. I'm not even paying attention to you anymore, Sooner Cowboy. You might as well go on home.
I'm telling you, man, it's just something about that stadium. I am not trusting it. I have seen it over and over. Auburn come to us, we blow them out. We go in there, it's just like, come on, man. I seen a startup. Matter of fact, last year we started off fast. I was like, there we go. Let's go ahead and end this. And the 2 touchdowns that we scored came back. And I was just like, bro, here we go. We're in for one of those days.
I think that Saban probably did his best coaching job last year because there were some flaws going on there in certain places, right?
That's why
there was.
Yeah, that's why he's the GOAT.
He's the GOAT. I don't think, man, the problem is that they were throwing the ball and he was getting a lot of pressure. And that's where I'm worried about Alabama. If I'm an Alabama fan, my concern is Jalen Milroe. If they don't find somebody else to like get in, because I don't know that he's going to become a thrower all of a sudden.
He changed up his mechanics. He looked good. As
under pressure, is he going to be able to hold those mechanics though?
Hey man, he got
like shooters, bro. Hey, Coach, how you shoot?
He got Kellen DeBoer. They're gonna work with his mechanics. I think Ryan Grubbs. We say that was a loss, but that's okay. I'm about to say the system is really killing DeBoer, and I think Coach Shepard.
Oh, I agree with that part.
And Russell
Shepard is one of the best receiver coaches in the country. He had 3 unbelievable receivers at Washington last year.
He's our co-offensive coordinator. He is definitely about to show a lot of games.
The offensive line coach, I would be a little concerned with.
Yeah, but we have. If you look on Pro Football Focus, we had a top out of returning guys. We have a top 7 offensive line with Jaden Roberts, then Tyler Booker, and a center that just came in from Washington.
Yeah, no, I know that. Look, I'm not saying I'm saying when you lose the offensive line coach.
Yeah, now I think that's a bit lost because the Joe Moore award for when you just had those guys, then you had more talent, and I think a lot of that was on Caden Proctor a lot of the time because they really was attacking him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
and he had a freshman playing left tackle. I mean, and he had struggles at times, right?
Yeah. The best game I've seen him play.
I can't believe that dude hold on himself he told on Nebraska or not Nebraska, Iowa.
Mm-hmm. And I was just like, hey, it is what it is. And I know Iowa was like, damn it, boy, come on now, shut up.
Sooner Lemon says if they go 10-2, he would see, Alabama and LSU. Yeah, I could. Yeah.
And if 9-3, add Ole Miss.
I could see that one too.
That is very
talked about that before. I mean, I could see that too. The ones that I don't want to. I'm not just going to give you Texas. I'm not just going to give you Mizzou, and I'm not going to give you Auburn for damn sure.
I'm just going to say
or Tennessee for that matter.
Okay, I'll let you just.
But I do think Tennessee's better. I like Tennessee more than most people.
But I'm telling
you like Tennessee more than I do.
I think Ross is a good coach. I also think that they know him very well, and I think that Venables on a freshman quarterback or a brand new quarterback is going to be a lot harder on. I think that that's going to be harder for Nico to deal with than Jackson and his guy. I just do. I mean, you know what I mean? I think he's going to put him in jeopardy in ways because he's a new kid. That's going to be one of those games that Nico's got to be really good to win. And it's going to be it could be a great game. It could be a real.
I don't want to lose this point. I'm about to say, how many points you think you're going to beat Oklahoma going to beat Auburn by? It's a reason I asked.
I don't know. A couple touchdowns, maybe.
Okay, a couple of touchdowns. If that game is anywhere near 4 points, I don't want y'all to be hyping up like we went into Auburn and did all that. Because I know if it's close, if it's 4 points, y'all struggled from the beginning to the end.
Maybe, yeah, probably.
It ain't no maybe. I'm telling you what's going to happen.
So. Yeah,
now that I'm not. I just don't want to hear y'all just say, "See, we went in Auburn."
Okay, but if you're telling me it's such a hard ass place to play and they win, right?
I'm saying it's
a good win either way if they go in there.
But I'm saying it's just like, oh my God, it's just like we got out of there. Thank you. That's just how every time
the boys are all saying 14.5, 20. Mars has 17.
17 points. We beat.
Trying to destroy OU, but see that could get him in trouble too. You go out there and try to freaking run up a score against a defense like this. Try to throw it at Billy and Gentry. Go ahead.
Okay.
Peyton Bowen.
Nope. Okay.
I mean,
hey, shout out to my boy.
I like Josh though. I mean, I think he's a good coach. I don't think that he's just going to come out there and go stupid. I don't think he's going to do that. I think it may be a very good game.
Shout out to my boy Phil, coach one of the best wide receivers in the country that plays at Auburn right now, Cam Coleman, which I feel like is going to be a big pick. Well, that was a big pickup for them. And I think that's going to be a good game for y'all. I want to see how he plays. It's really just that quarterback.
I didn't really disagree with you about anything, did I, Sooner D? I'm not busting your chops. Am I? I didn't call you Debbie Downer. He asked me if you were another Debbie Downer. I didn't call you that.
Yeah, I asked.
Relax, Sooner D.
He said, I ain't going
I
for it.
know this guy.
He said, I ain't going for it.
I did that. Nuh-uh. I said, don't tell me Texas is going to be that other loss. I was busting his chops, but I wasn't. No, that's not where we were.
Yeah, statistically, Texas should have a real good chance to beat y'all. I just don't think historically. I mean, what they beat y'all once in the last 12 something times.
Yeah, it's the last. Let's see. I just looked at this yesterday. They've won 11 of 14. Oklahoma has.
Right. But when we talk about return in production, statistically, they should have they total return in production. They're number 25 in the nation. They're ahead of Oklahoma and Georgia. You know,
the offensive line and the quarterback is what that is probably. So,
well, they bring back 74% of their offensive production.
Yep, because they had Jaden Blue, and after Brooks went down, those guys had to play. Yeah,
and 66% of their defensive production. So I was just saying, like statistically, but I personally don't think. Again, I watch how they play. It's like they don't play like the same Texas when they play. I don't know. You guys just got their number. That's just what it is. It's kind of like the whole playing at Jordan Hare for Auburn and that's
Alabama. The reason I like this Oklahoma team more than anything else is that this is no longer a soft ass Lincoln team. It's not. It's not a Lincoln Riley and Grinch and Benny Wiley soft ass baby shit. Freaking defense and offense and the way they do things. It's just not what they are. And that's what we like about it. And why, if I wasn't, look, I don't care how many points they score. I want them to score a lot of points. But what I really want to see is them be physical. The stuff that we see out of what we saw out of Michigan, what we saw out of Notre Dame at times last year, the physicality, the way that they just rolled over people. That's what you want to see. You know, the defense being really good because they're in the trenches, they're gotten good. That's what we want. I mean, look, we've seen offense forever in Oklahoma. I don't worry about that shit. What I worry about is not being good enough on defense. And that's, I feel like they're going to be there.
Boomer 129. No, Georgia is not a blue blood.
I was waiting to see where you're going to be honest.
It's not like this is my thing. People continue to have those conversations. Like blue blood was made up and it's 8 teams. It's always for me, it's always the same 8 teams. I don't care how they're performing in the current year or how they perform. Like Nebraska is the blue blood. It doesn't matter that 20 years in running they're blue blood.
SC hasn't been good in a while.
I don't personally believe that you move in and out of blue blood status. I mean, they came up with those names for a reason, you know. I mean, it came up with those teams for a reason. That's just what it is. So but I was gonna say total returning production. There's so far I've seen 4 teams on y'all's schedule that have more returning total, but not defense, because defense you guys got more, but total when you add in offense, they have more coming back.
Yeah. Well,
but
again, side, they're returning because their line. Now, they had some guys that played more. I mean, Tyler Guyton didn't really play a whole lot at the end of the season. Jacob Sexton did. They do have a new center, but the center that they had last year, he really wasn't the best one out of them. And, you know, the guy that they got coming in, they like him a lot. They have the best offensive line coach in the country, though. The guy has more dudes that win in the first or second round than anybody in the country, period. So there's another. I mean, I get it that the offensive line is a question for some people. I understand the question. When they have a bad line, I'll worry about
it. Sam Pittman head coach, so we can't count him.
Sam Pittman's pretty good as an offensive.
Well, I'm saying like we was talking about draft picks. Like he's not an OL coach anymore. So, but if we talk about first and second round draft picks, does he have more than 11? I gather that he probably
in the league right now. I'm saying right now.
No, I don't think 11 in the league right now.
First or second rounders. That's what
I wouldn't. I say if I had to guess, I don't know. I'd probably say 7. Yeah, 7.
But I'm just saying, but again, he's the guy that. And right now, the thing about the lineman, shit, that's the toughest position. I think. First off, to recruit, people worry about whether you get a 3-star or whatever. But Trent Williams was a 3-star, and they people just. A lot of times they don't get that evaluation right, but they've got two 5-stars that are right now have crystal balls to them. So we'll see. But
shout out to Silverback.
I know one thing. Is that they tend to freaking do very well on offense, no matter. And the portal is going to be what it is, but they cobble it together and get it to work.
Right. So of your 8 SEC opponents, 5 bring back more total production than you guys do.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm just saying again, I don't know if that equates wins or not. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying
I'm gonna tell you that I haven't studied that as much as any of the other stats that I pay attention to or I think matter to any. I mean,
well, I'm just saying because
Georgia has the least. What isn't it like the least amount of defensive coming back? And I don't think they're going to be a bad defense. I don't think.
Right. I just was bringing that up because you and Jay was using that as the reason why the defense is going to be better.
My thing is not just it's not just that. It's that they have talent that's in year 2 that's going to contribute. I do expect something out of David Stone and Jaden Jackson.
I think that's a reasonable. I think it's a reasonable assumption to say if you bring back a lot of your talent, you should be better, right? That's the reason, right? Like you guys bring back a lot of your defensive talent, so you should be better.
Mm-hmm.
With those 5 teams, they should be better.
Talent coming back too, though. They're talking about quarterback and lineman.
Oh, yeah. Right. I'm just saying overall, we should suspect those or expect. We should expect those teams to be better because they're bringing back a lot of production. Like for instance, I'm in agreement with you that Cody Schrader played a huge part in Missouri's offense. Is that wasn't that his name? Cody Schrader or something like that? The running back guy.
Oh,
but they bring back 79% of their offense. So we should expect that their offense gets better this year at Mizzou.
Yeah. But if they
right?
Yeah. They are
we have to. I'm just saying.
Yes, you should.
Because I expect Oklahoma's defense to get better. I don't care who the players' names are. All I know is 79% of the production is coming back.
Oh well, I mean,
that means you should be
everybody
better.
Knows who the hell Luther Burden is.
But that's what I'm saying. Like in similar assumptions. That's all I'm saying. Similar assumptions. So.
I think that they're good. I think that offensively they're going to be. I think that they're going to struggle. I think that you don't have to. I think Oklahoma could win, and even if it was a shootout, Oklahoma can win that game. Because I think that if you're just good and if you're top 20, top 30, you're going to stop them at least some, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much they're going to stop people. I just don't. I look, they're lost. What did they lose on defense? Where are they at on returners on defense?
58%.
58.
So they retained about a little bit more than half. Yeah.
Their defensive line guys and their edge rush, I know, is on the draft though, but
that's like with Oklahoma's offense, y'all only bring back 44% of your offense.
Right, but again, that's Dylan Gabriel.
Regardless of how it happens.
Where I was, but the thing that I'm talking about is I expect that they're going to be. They may not be exactly as good, but they may be better because Jackson can do more, and they've got more weapons. Really,
not proven, right?
Yes, they do have some proven weapons.
Oh, not as many as you have.
Andrew Anthony is coming back. Zach, and then,
but the losses have to come somewhere though, because I take your word for it on the offensive line guy. He's as good as you say he is. I believe that.
Just look at.
But what I'm saying is, production has to. If it means something for your defense, it has to mean it's something for the offense because they don't bring.
Okay, well, I'll just put it to you this way: the production wise for the receiving between tight ends and that played last year, they had a couple guys in the portal. They got what's his name from Purdue that everybody wanted, that receiver.
So he would, and while I think he may be good, he's not counted in returning production.
No, he's not.
Right.
No, he is actually. He is.
No, returning production means they was on.
They did it weird this year. They did add that as returning production.
Okay.
I didn't know that was the thing that they did. I watched a couple of shows that they were talking about it. So I was just like, what? That's weird. But that is a lot of it. That they're counting that as returning production. Oklahoma actually has more guys that were on the football team. Some of them played, some of them didn't. But I'm telling you that, and I expect, man, that tight end, he might be really good, even as a freshman. I mean, 6'5", 250 and catches everything. He's a stud. Might be great. We don't know. They did get another guy from Baylor that had a couple of touchdowns last year and 400 yards. I mean, and then another guy that was a quarterback at another level, and then he's been playing tight end the last couple of years. He's a project guy, but then they got their receiving core is mostly intact. They lost Stoops pretty much.
He's a big part of it.
I'm
gonna say that's the equivalent.
Right.
I believe personally, and I'm biased, but I believe that Ladd McConkey is better than Stoops. But what I'm saying is,
I think Ladd McConkey's better than Stoops too.
But what I'm saying is, I feel like Stoops was just as important.
Emotional leader, absolutely. He was very. I'm not hating on Stoops, guys.
And he would come through with some catches. He would clutch, dog.
Bro, no doubt, no doubt. But what I'm saying, talent wise, he doesn't really.
No,
it's not the same thing. That's not where we're at. I'm saying. The guys that they had freshmen that stepped up last year, and were very good. Hell, we had you had a redshirt freshman that had 800 yards on not even 40 catches and 10 touchdowns. He's going to step up, be better. If Andrew's back to healthy, what Andrew Anthony was about. He was really good. He was the number one before he got hurt in the Texas game.
Consistent though. I like the other
But he's
guy.
got a lot of
I
speed.
like Anderson. I like there's
Anderson's
another
bad.
guy, Farouk. I like them better
Farouk
than I
fumbles
like
a little much though.
Yeah, but I don't know. Andrea, I think he got a lot of speed. He might have some potential. It hasn't culminated all together on a consistent basis. So I would rank
earlier in the year, but
I would rank your other receivers ahead of him.
Jaden Gibson is another one of those guys that he had how many touchdowns did Jaden have? I think 6 or 7, and he only had caught like 15 balls, but 6'6". He really started kind of coming around at the end. That I'm not real worried about that. And then they got Taylor Tatum is that dude, man. As a freshman kid, he might be able to put him as a receiver, and he's going to play some at running back. I love their running backs though already. They just got to, my concern in the running back room isn't the running backs. It's whether or not they're going to get that rotation down, because my struggle with that was, and I don't know if that was Levy or if that was, I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it, though. Right, I hope it was Levy and not the running back coach. I love the running back coach, but he kind of pissed me off last year.
But he's still there though, right? Or you go?
Yeah, he's there. Yeah, dude, it's DeMarco Murray, bro. We love.
I know. I was just asking to clarify. I know.
I mean, there's been some people asking.
Listen, this is what I always say, though. This is what I always say, and I try to tell Georgia fans this, and because it's like we had a wide receiver coach position come up. They was like, "Oh, Hines Ward." I'm not saying Hines wouldn't be a good coach. All I'm saying is just because he was a good player does not automatically make them a good coach, dog. Yeah, and that's what's happening in my opinion.
I like DeMarco. There's been some rumors about some shit that went down in that locker room last year, and I don't,
right.
So, yeah, I love Nick.
Man, it's late on the East Coast, man.
It's late on the West Coast too, bro. I gotta get out of here.
Get out of here, man.
It's late in Canada.
Yeah. Hey, tell everybody how to find you guys. Thank you for joining me. We usually don't go quite this long, but it happened. Shawty, get your ass on here and tell us how to find you.
Fan Addict. Fan Addict Sports, YouTube, IG, Twitter, Facebook. Y'all already know what it is.
Yup. Brinsky.
Oh, I was about to let Shawty go, but y'all already know. Subscribe to the Sharpshooters podcast. Every Wednesday, we have a big interview coming up by somebody in the industry.
Yeah.
And hopefully it's Monday. But I don't know when I'm going to drop it, if it happens Monday. But I'm going to tell you guys.
I'm excited for you, bro. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you when we get off. And then another big interview, which I may tell you guys that one. And it's somebody from my hometown that's big in the movie industry.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about it. I want to know, is Shawty going to be on the Shawty, get your ass in here.
I don't know.
Is he going to be on the documentary?
Oh, he's on there.
Shawty, you on the doc? Come on, Shawty, you on the documentary? Tell us what's up.
Shawty said the statute of limitations is over. So.
Well, that's good.
It's one of the famous photos from the Freaknik that has my cousin with a camcorder.
Freaknik.
He has that on his wall.
Listen.
I watched that shit. That took me back. Hey man, I'm the same age as you guys, so that took me back. I was like, shit, I remember them days. I didn't go to Freaknik, but
I
wish I was old enough.
Yeah.
Whew.
Lots of fun. Man. Sound like lots of fun. All right, folks. Yeah. Hey, thank you everybody for coming in. Look, I hope everybody hit that like button on their way in, even if I busted your chops or you were busting mine. Make sure you guys come in and hit that like button. It's the free way to make sure that you support the program. If you're not already a subscriber to any of these guys' podcasts, make sure you get over there and do that as well. Sharpshooters closing in on 500 still. You're almost to 5?
80 more.
80 more to 500. We got to get him 80 more to 500. I'm trying to get to 3,500 right now. Coach I think you're right about what, 2,500?
Almost. Almost, man. Our Chuck and Buckets basketball is blown up. So
I still ain't been on the show, brother.
college women's basketball. My bad. College women's basketball is taking off, dog. Oh, you go. Oh, I'll get at you about that.
Oh yeah, man. I'm
March.
just,
I want to say March 18th.
that's perfect. That's after my baby's birthday.
And then go over to, are you Sooner fans? Make sure you go over to the Hall of Fame Sooner Network. It's at HOF Sooners, and subscribe to that one too. We're trying to get to 100 there, but I'm going to start putting most of the OU stuff is going to be there by the time the season starts. So I'm just trying to get everybody to move on over. All right. Thanks a lot, everybody, for coming in. We very much appreciate it. If you need wireless service, you don't have to stick with big wireless anymore. Hit our link down there, $45, unlimited data for 3 months. $45. TryMintMobile.com/HOF. Thanks a lot, everybody, for coming in, and we will see you guys on the next one.